Welcome, everybody, to the second annual Tanuki Media Game of the Year Top 10, whichever we're going to try to call this. My name is Justin. I'm here with three lovely people. We might have a fourth one coming in, a la Mark. But why don't we introduce ourselves? Starting with the person to my side over here.
Oh, bro, the camera. It's me, Aniyah. It's Avid Soul. And I wasn't here for the last one, so I was like, I'm at least trying to make up for all the times I've been missing out on some of these events. So I'm like, yeah, at least top 10. We can talk about some games, bro. Especially some really, really peak content going on here, guys. It's really good.
Not a real gamer, I get it.
And the one below me
is also not a real gamer. Yo, what's up? I'm Motion Man 64, aka Philip. We're here at Tanuki Media, and this is the second annual one, correct? Yeah, we did one last year as well for Tanuki. We usually do this every year. It's fun to talk about our favorite games that we played this year. There's a big emphasis on played.
And I'll definitely outline it once we're done with introductions. Speaking of which, who's our last person over there?
Hello. It's probably the fakest gamer of them all. It's me.
Fakest.
Sephie.
Faker.
Cash. You're not even good enough to. I'll make you eat those words.
All right, let me finish.
Hello, y'all. Yes, I love this time of year. I have kept a list of every game that I've played. I'm really excited. But glad to be here, guys. Thank you for having me.
Just to kind of give everyone an outline, and for people watching at home, this is our top 10, top 5, whichever everyone kind of falls under as far as games filled out throughout the year. The goal is for our Game of the Year talks is pretty much just to outline games that we have all personally played, regardless of the release year. There's not really any type of emphasis on trying to get as current or as retro as possible, but it's just kind of up to everybody because everyone has a different perspective, different interests, and it's just a way to highlight different games if there is any that just kind of fall outside of a cumulative interest. Definitely different from Game Awards type of stuff, so it's not trying to one up it, but it's just us sharing our own opinions here. So
pretty much.
We are the better awards anyways, but we're gonna run through honorable mentions first.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Then we're going to go into our top 10 one by one, each one in a circle.
I want to give special shout outs to the games that I've played throughout the year that aren't something that I was able to finish because there was a lot of good games on top of ones that just kind of don't really fit that niche of top 10 as far as games I would have otherwise completed. Balatro was one that I definitely just gave it a quick shot just to see it. I totally see why it's addicting, but I wasn't able to really play as much as I really wanted to. This one hurts me a lot. Metaphor Refantasio. It's just it's just a very, very long RPG game. There's no way I can finish that right now. Super Mario Party Jamboree. I think that one kind of fits a category of I'd have to unlock a lot of things in order for me to quote unquote finish that, but otherwise it's still a really good game and I still want to give shout outs to it. Oh, this one hurts a lot. This is The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the Third. I'm still playing through it, and it's such a story driven game. I can't place it until I finish it. Speaking of Falcom games, Tokyo Xanadu is next. Another one is another lengthy RPG. Couldn't quite finish that.
I get it.
This is gonna hurt even more so, Phil. East 10 Nordics. I'm still playing the demo.
Just talk.
Next one, Zenless Zone Zero. It's so much fun, but I haven't finished the story bits of it. I think the big main overarching story has been finished, and I would have categorized it then if I was caught up. And then the last one, which doesn't have a finale yet, it wouldn't because of the nature of it. Pokemon TCG Pocket, an honorable mention over there. These are the games I've finished, but I'm not placing in top 10 here. Tales of Zestiria, it's super good, just not quite good enough to make top 10 there. After Image is a Metroidvania. Okay. It's really fun, just not as good as another one that's on the list. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. It's good.
Very fair. Okay.
It's good. It's just,
It's Mario versus Donkey Kong. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah,
okay. You don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
One of us is gonna have to explain a little further. It's fine.
Fair enough. I'll just leave it at that. Cat Quest 2. It's really good.
Yo.
Yeah, it's crazy. People be sleeping on the Cat Quest games. Don't. It's actually really fun.
I need to pick them up. I know that trilogy is getting a physical copy together. I want to get that.
As a resident cat lady, I feel like I'm doing a disservice by not playing these cat games.
I 100% recommend it. Princess Peach Showtime. It's good. Still good.
I still gotta play that.
And then last one, another Code Recollection.
Yeah. I figured that was gonna be somewhere. I knew that you had played it this year. I wanted to see where you put it. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it's just somewhere like out in the ether of just like finished, just not quite like top 10. But yeah, that's my honorable mentions. Quick
I would
question,
say that's my
Sephie.
last one. Yes.
I'm hearing a lot of like mic stuff like on your side, I think. Hear a lot of movement, a lot of brushing up on something.
Uh-oh.
Sounds like
I
a
don't
pencil.
know. I don't know what's
Yeah,
going
you
on.
like sharpening a pencil real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I have like there's people like outside because I'm in my living room. There's like people like outside right now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
People
because
could
it sounded
actually-
like actual motions of like someone like rubbing up against the mic.
Oh,
Yeah,
weird.
just,
Okay.
like, sketching on a it's like sound design of somebody sketching in like a video game. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Let me see if I
I
can-
didn't know.
Aniyah, do you have any honorable mentions?
It's probably just gonna be. Is it 2? Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Oh, man.
As far as like how I felt playing that game, just like what 2? I think I was on like the 3rd level before I started. Oh boy, for one game just took over this entire year. Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Fair,
As far as,
very
like, honorable
fair.
mentions,
Nice.
it was chaotic, bro. That game was fun because I didn't do the like the campaign for the game or like anything past it for the story, but I was just enjoying like the mini games and playing with everybody else. All the other games, I did have a good list of them, but some I didn't feel like was I couldn't put it on there. Like I was even gonna put like Street Fighter on here, but I was like, that's not fair either. I didn't play it as often, so I didn't want to put it on the list.
Fair enough.
Had I actually played as Terry, which I know is crazy. I haven't touched the Terry DLC yet.
Crazy.
Street Fighter 6 probably would have been on my honorable mentions for sure because I wanted to play Terry. I have a decent list for honorable mentions. These are all games I've actually touched, played at least an hour of each one, but felt that I was like, I am not the right person to put these in top 10. There is one I flipped. That's the last honorable mention. Last minute, I was like, you know what? I really can't get myself to put it in top 10 because I didn't put that much time into it. From the bottom, you'll be surprised about this one because I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. Me, of all people. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is an honorable mention.
Oh,
Okay.
All right.
A little weird.
Honor.
It's slim pickings this year for Xbox. Well, first party wise, but to be honest, it was actually kind of fun. And Treyarch is usually the one Call of Duty company I always go back to. Like they don't usually miss. The campaign's actually done by what are their names? Raven Software, which is like, okay, you got me. I was like, it's pretty good. It's a really good game, and the Omni movement's crazy, bro. Like the game takes place in the 90s. It makes you feel like a 90s action hero. The Legend of Nayuta, Boundless Trails. I finally got around to playing it this year.
Okay.
I really loved it. I love most Falcom games, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a good mix of like trails and like a bunch of platforming. Doom plus Doom 2. I know what you're going to say, Philip. It's just Doom again. You're right. But what I didn't realize is that this is actually done by Night Dive, who did the Quake remasters. And so I was like, they got rid of the bad ports. Got it. So like this is the best way to play Doom at 1 and 2. It's like basically content complete, officially released campaign, plus even like some unofficial ones that they're making official. And then
nice,
an absolute like brand new campaign, like done by Machine Games, aka like the Indiana Jones team. Like, what the hell? Like, are you crazy? Like, I was like tripping. I was like, no way, this is real. Like, it's a really solid little collection, and it's $10. Or it's even cheap. It's free if you already had one of the other ports. So Rise of the Ronin on PS5. I only dabbled in it. I really want to put more time into it because it is an open world game, and I got a little like scared because I was like, man, there's other games to play. Much to Aniyah's dismay, Tekken 8 is on my honorable mentions. I've only got to play so little of it that I couldn't tell myself top 10. Yeah, like, but what I have played of it, that's a good fighting game. That's a good game. Like after that, Another Code Recollection. Wanted to put it in top 10. I have the most experience with Another Code in this group. Finally experienced the story of Another Code R, the second game. It ain't that remarkable. I will say that the first game is kind of a banger, and the second game is kind of lackluster, except for the finale. I think everything towards the end of that game, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, well, it's kind of crazy.
Stellar Blade is on this.
Stellar Blade.
I want to play it more. I love action games, especially Devil May Cry Bayonetta style ones. So I need to really put more time into it. But the music, Oh, it was so. If this was on the top 10 right now for baseline music, it would have been like top 3. Nintendo World Championships NES edition.
Oh wow.
Nice.
You did
Is
buy
on my
that.
honorable mentions list. I did 100% it.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
Hell
got
yeah.
S rank on everything. It's fun. It's a cute idea. I wish they kind of went more into it. Like if you're gonna do first party Nintendo games, throw the whole list on there, like, or most of like the black box games. You know, calling it NES edition, my expectations were, oh, let's throw a bunch of like NES games, and we only got like 13.
Yeah.
So like it was alright. And also, why can I not see my friends' ranks? That's so dumb. I wanted to be number 1 against Justin and I and you, Sephie. That way no one touches me. Like I am the number 1 NES guy. Next is Mario versus Donkey Kong. I do have it on honorable mentions as well.
Okay.
I love the original. As someone who claims that Donkey Kong 94 is my favorite Game Boy game, it is. Mario versus Donkey Kong, the original, is a great sequel. It was never my favorite compared to the first game, but then they remade it. And honestly, I can't go back to the Game Boy Advance version. This version is really clean, extra levels. It's just a fun game. I liked it a lot. Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered.
Oh.
I have never played Tomb Raider like proper. I've never played the originals. Yeah, and so I got the PS5 version. I just recently got the Switch version. And by the way, just so everyone knows, they're basically on par. They don't drop frames. They're all 60 frames. It's pretty crazy. The controls are weird. It's a rough game to go back to, but if you learn how to play it, it's pretty enjoyable. It's really fun to just kind of try to learn how to get out of the level. Basically, it's kind of an escape room. That's basically what the game is. It's an escape room trying to get out of every level, and that's only based on Tomb Raider 1. I have not finished it. That's why I couldn't put it anywhere higher than that.
Fair enough.
I feel it.
Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. I like that game a lot. I wish I could play more of it, but I was just like, man, there's other games to play, so I haven't just gotten around to it more. But I beat the first world, and it's cool. I like the spin dash move that they took from Sonic, and they implemented that. That's actually a fun feature, not the jump that makes everything feel easy. No, this one, the spin dash is actually like you can do really crazy speed runs with it. So I like it.
Good old Monkey Ball.
I know, it's great. The online's whatever, but the actual they made basically the best single player campaign Monkey Ball in a long time.
Good old Monkey Ball.
Princess Peach Showtime. I'm almost done, I promise. Princess Peach Showtime.
Oh, I wish I played it.
Mentions, I 100%.
I know, I haven't played it. And I'm like, I need to buy it.
I don't ever want 100% that game again. It is a good feel game, so I knew what I was getting myself into 100%ing it. But
yep.
I love the idea of it. The concept's really fun. It's a lot of variety, so like you never know what the next level is going to be, and it's like, whoa, I didn't know I was going to do that. I do wish some of the power-ups were better than others. Like the mermaid one kind of sucks. But
yeah, you're right.
But then you got stuff like the Kung Fu one and like the Sword Fighter one, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, oh, and Thief was cool. Like,
I do like Ninja as well.
Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Really?
I am just really
okay.
I'm just really appreciative that game is out of the 3DS's library and now on Switch, where
that's another one I got to get.
Everybody,
I'm so behind.
Experience the series like proper. Well, we still need number 1, but
we still need number 1, yeah.
But it's fun because Luigi's Mansion 2 is not just a simple like. It looks really clean. Like they updated everything on that game. It looks super solid.
Hell yeah.
It doesn't need the 2 screens like it originally did. They actually fixed controls. Like it's fun. The last 3 honorable mentions I have: Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Ooh.
I will tell you right now that this is probably my favorite Xbox game, like Series X game right now. Unapologetically Indiana Jones. And I mean that to a T. And as someone who is a absolutely huge fan of that series, and the fact that this is a canon story is really cool. Like they made sure to take care of the franchise. It's also not what you think it is. It's not some gunslinging like first person game. It's a very slow stealth game. I mean, Indiana Jones is not some gunslinging action hero, dude. The dude's just trying to survive.
He's just an explorer, yeah.
He's just so like actually sneaking around, having to disguise yourself, having to go through like Nazi territory, or like right now, I haven't played enough of it, so I'm still in the Vatican doing a bunch of side quest stuff. Cute nod, but they got the same dude who composed the Jedi series, so Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. They got him to do the music for this, which is cute because John Williams does the music for Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So
yeah,
that's
nice,
cute.
Nice little nod. I like that.
It sounds like Indiana Jones. It feels like Indiana Jones. It's really cool. Biggest flaw is that it's in first person, and I know that's weird to say because it's a Machine Games game. Like they are known for Wolfenstein, but I feel weird that it's in first person. I know it's different. I'll give it that.
Very nice.
And then the next two, you'll be like, okay, I thought those would be top 10 for sure. But Mario and Luigi Brothership is an honorable mention. I wish I
You know
could-
what? Yep, I'm surprised.
I wish I could put it higher. I really wish I could put it higher because I haven't put time into it. I have not put that much time into it.
Oh no.
It came out like 2 weeks. It came out like 2 weeks before my son
no.
was born, and I was already in the mid of another game, and so I was like, I can't just like. So I didn't have time to actually really play it. I tested it enough to say that I like it. It's not my favorite Mario and Luigi, but I do like it. It's got really cool visuals, and I'm just glad to see the series is still alive.
That's funny though. You had to get off the brothership and hop on the fathership.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's a good crazy timing.
And then my official number 11. This is an honorable mention. This is the one I had to trade. I had to trade it.
Okay.
And it's a game I didn't think I was ever gonna see, and I played it, and I was like, I kind of get it. I haven't finished it. That's why granted, my number 10 I haven't finished either, but I played way more of my number 10 than I did this one. This is Emio, the Smiling Man.
Oh.
I'm not really into visual novels, but I've been trying to pick them up, and I realized that I like murder mystery ones, not so much the romance ones. I've always wanted to play the Famicom Detective Club series as a big Nintendo fan. And the fact that after all these years, they actually made a third game and it's rated M, like it's an actual adult game by Nintendo, not just like them publishing Bayonetta, publishing a third-party game that they're claiming is first party. This is an actual Nintendo developed with mages, first party Nintendo game. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's a really cool game. It's got an interesting story. But it is Famicom Detective Club, so you got to go with the same option. Gives you different answers, so it's like you got to keep going. Yeah.
Would you say that I have to play the other two first to play this one?
You'll like be like, well, why is Ayane Tachibana like here with me already? Who's this character? Why is she already here?
Right.
Sure, there's like small things, but they're not like. This is years after the first two games, so it's like.
Very good.
Do you have honorable mentions?
I do. I have a nice little list of honorable mentions. So my first honorable mention, and I swear I will get back into this game. I just we played it at the beginning of the year, and I don't think Frank liked playing it with me, but Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh,
so I was
what did you do?
Okay, so I was like, I'm not really like we played Dungeons and Dragons, right? We had our little D&D group. That was really fun. But I was like, I was just not really into it. And then Frank was like, oh, do you want to watch me play some of it? So I did. And I was like, oh, it's actually like, this is cool. This is Dungeons and Dragons. And he's like, do you want to start a campaign with me? So I ended up buying it for my birthday and we played it. And some of the decisions I made got us into some tricky situations. And we just never really like picked it up again after that. And so I was like, he swears that he's like, no, I do like playing it with you, but I don't know. But it's honorable mention because I didn't actually finish the story. I didn't get super far into it, but what I did play was really fun. And let me tell you, I wasn't trying to, but me and Shadowheart, yeah, okay, I wasn't trying to riz her up, but guess what? She was falling for me. So
whatever you say.
I just had that.
I wasn't trying to riz her up.
I had that chemistry.
Stardew Valley, because they did the 1.6 update. So obviously I had to get back into Stardew Valley. It's one of my all-time favorite games ever. But that's an honorable mention just because it's, I've played it over the years and the first 3 years in the game, it's all pretty much the same with a couple of like new stuff sprinkled in now with the 1.6 update. So I didn't really get to like most of the end game content, which is why I didn't want to put it on my top 10. It's just more of just getting through the first 3 years. And then after after Grandpa comes to visit you, his ghost, then you get to start doing like all the other stuff. So another one that I didn't play per se, but I was watching Frank play it and it was really interesting was Pacific Drive. It was that indie game where you get to like make the car and stuff. I think the story was like really cool. It was something different. I wasn't like, you could just like build up a car essentially. But the story was really cool. I like that you had to go and like look at these like different anomalies and go through like different places. And the two characters that you interact with, Just love them so much. They're so great.
Where were you when we were talking about Game Awards nominees? Because Pacific Drive came up, and none of us, me, Justin, and Mark were like, I don't know, car, and then just kept going. Like,
I don't know.
No,
car.
it was actually a really like good game. It was a good story. You know, I feel like I don't know. I enjoyed watching it play it, and you know, you get to like build up your car and stuff like that. I don't know. It was just something different. Like I was like, oh, this is a different type of game, but it was cool. I think it definitely deserved a nomination because I really enjoyed it, or from what I saw. So I put that on my honorable mentions. My Friendly Neighborhood. I call this baby's first Resident Evil.
What?
It's basically like Sesame Street, like
oh,
Muppet. That one.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we had watched this streamer play it. And I totally forgot about it, and then Frank was like, "Do you want to play this with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we played through it. I did want to put it on my top 10, but there were a lot of other games that we had played this year that I was like, I had it on there, but I was like, I don't know. It was good though. Overall, it was very good. I thought it was going to be like scarier, because it is kind of marketed as like a horror game, but it's not very scary. But it's very, very reminiscent of Resident Evil. So I call it baby's first Resident Evil. I was so close to being on my top 10, but I was like, I don't know.
Damn.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. If you guys have ever played the Fears to Fathom series, it's like that anthology series. They're like scary games based off of like real people's like stories and stuff. So it's like an anthology series. So it's like the latest iteration came out. That one was fun. It's all like more or less the same gameplay, but I do like all the stories and stuff because it's really cool.
Yeah, is it like a first person type of thing, interactive?
Yeah, it's like a first person. It's called Fears to Fathom. This one was called Woodbury Getaway. So it's like you and like your friends, you're going on like a little getaway trip, and you like basically like go through, and it gets pretty spooky. And then the last one is one we actually just played yesterday, so we have not finished it, but I feel like it was an interesting enough concept to put it on the list. It's called My Side. So if you've ever heard of Doki Doki Literature Club, it's very reminiscent of that.
Wait, like the same developer or no?
No. But basically what it is you start off as this guy, and you have this app, and it's like a not dating sim, but like this little girl. Her name is Mita, and you basically like do little things for her, and you eventually get trapped in the game. So it's like right off the bat, it's like she knows it's a game, and I don't know. It's kind of it's cool. I like it. I don't know.
It's a horror. Just to put into reference, right? It's a horror visual novel disguised as a romance visual novel.
Kind of, yeah, but it's not a visual novel. It's like you actually get to like move around and stuff.
Okay.
It's right off the bat. Right off the bat, it just kind of just jumps into it. But it's like this whole like longer like story, and it was getting pretty interesting. So I was like, you know what, this is actually pretty cool. Like I want to see where this goes. So I feel like that would be my last honorable mention. Nice. It literally like just came out too, but it's called My Side, and it's pretty good.
Heck yeah, a lot of cool honorable mentions.
Yeah, so I would say top 10. Anyone?
Top 10. We're going back to me then.
Yeah, number 10.
Number 10 is always interesting because it's always about the game that just like barely makes it. It's good. Like all top 10 for the most part for me are really good, and it's just about like my general interests. Like number 10 is both like important as far as just the placement, but also just kind of like where the series is just at, the potential of it. Number 10, Cat Quest 3, baby. It's right here.
Cat Quest 3.
Holy shit, bro.
this dude hit us with Cat Quest 2 and honorable mention, but like
Cat Quest 3. Dude.
Okay.
All right, hear me out, Phil. Especially you, Phil. Hear me out. I've talked about Cat Quest before. And how it's just a mobile game, right? Nothing like crazy about it. If you play the first one, even on Switch, it's like, yeah, this is definitely a mobile game. But it had like a level of depth to it, like as a completed like thing in cart. Number 2, improved on it. Number 3, kind of improves leaps and bounds. Like this runs just 30 frames. The other ones run 60. It's like, wait, what? So you kind of get an idea of like this, like, or grasp like exactly how much is being put into this game. The visuals have like been like touched up to a different, it has a different art style to it, to be honest, but it plays different in like the best way. It feels a little bit more Souls like as far as like difficulty, more open world-esque type of game where you can just tackle anything to like your whatever you want to do with it. It hits differently. It just improves on all the mechanics of the previous games and gives you, albeit a very short story, but you can definitely have a lot of engagement with it if you want to like try to complete everything. But it's super good. Recommend that.
Cat Quest. Okay.
Oh,
Aniyah, number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10.
10.
This was definitely like what is it? This
Ben
was a nice
10.
little experience. It was like a cozy little short-lived game. It wasn't like too long, but it's one of those games that does what Life is Strange does. There's an online aspect. So like when you finish the game, it's all choice-based. So you'll see who people pick at the end of it, depending on how you play the game.
Oh, interesting.
So
I love that. I love that.
It's interesting. I like how people get to choose the options. And that was Duck Detective.
Oh,
Duck Detective!
Okay, wait, Aniyah, before you start, I just have to say that's also my number 10.
Hey, no way.
Such a good game. It's good.
Oh, we're starting off good. Okay, got it.
It's like, hold on, let's see. Hold on. First of all, cut out.
I was not expecting Duck Detective.
The art behind it is just like you feel like you got the same delivery like Paper Mario. It's like paper cutout, and then it kind of like the low budget feel of all the characters moving. It's pretty funny, and they play into it, and it gives like all the characters feel like pretty exaggerated. They're very animated. Like everybody has like archetype, and they kind of fit it because it's a whodunit kind of story. I don't think the puzzles were like crazy challenging, but they were still enjoyable. If you have like an issue of trying to fit the puzzle piece, that can kind of get annoying. It didn't do that in this game, but they at least made it enjoyable in terms of like you being a detective. There is an option to choose more than one like criminal.
Yeah,
There's like a lot of things that fall into place. I do like the voice acting. The voice acting is pretty good. I think this is a good 10. I like this 10.
Yes, very good.
Are you guys excited for the sequel?
There is a sequel. Yeah, I didn't even know there was a sequel. I didn't even know there's a sequel. I'm on it. It's hopefully makes
I would
my
play
next
it.
year.
This one was fun.
Stephie, since it's your number 10, do you want to just talk about it real quick?
That is so funny because it's also my number 10. It kind of just came out of nowhere. But Frank was like, hey, I have this. He'll just like random games. He'll just be like, hey, you should play this with me. So we went through the Duck Detective, and it was right off the bat just so ridiculous. The voice acting was really good, though. I really enjoyed the voice acting. It was pretty funny, too. It was like very ridiculous. And like Aniyah was saying, I did enjoy the Paper Mario type graphics where they're like paper cutouts, and then the way that they moved, it was like, it was very like low budget, you know, like instead of like individual feet walking, it's like, oh, they're hopping and stuff. But I did like that it was you had to like figure out like the whodunit, and it doesn't seem super obvious at first. Like when you first like go into it, it's like, oh, it's this person. But then as you like start playing it, start like asking more questions and like listening to like all the people and stuff, it's like, oh, it's not so obvious. But I did also enjoy at the very end, you got to choose whether it was like just one person or multiple people, and it's like if it was like who was the most guilty. It was just like a really like fun like little silly game. I was like, this is a cute game. I would totally play like games like this.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right, Phil.
My
number 10.
My number 10
is,
I mentioned earlier, it's a game I still haven't finished, but I played enough of it to know that it is up there. I love the franchise. I love the series, but that was just like out of left field for me because they hadn't made one in so long. And then I played it and I was like, damn, this is a good video game. And then once I found out who was making it, I was like, oh, this is going to be a really good game. This and another certain game that it's inspired by are basically on par with each other. My number 10 is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Prince of Persia.
Okay.
I was not expecting them to announce a new Prince of Persia. It's been forever. A Metroidvania that happens to be on par with Metroid Dread, in my opinion, because both games are really good. It's the same team who did Rayman Legends and Origins.
That tracks.
Once I heard which Ubisoft team was doing it, I was like, oh, you got me. Like, okay, like it's so atmospheric for it being 2D. The combat is super fun. Like it's combo heavy for some reason. Like it doesn't have to be, but it is.
Like you get patterns and combos. It's good.
Yeah, you get down. Like you can get a good combo going, and then once you understand enemy types, you're like, oh, I know how to take them out real quick. Get your upgrades going. It is a Metroidvania that doesn't hold your hand. Really good game. It gets really crazy like later on. I have not finished it because other games came out and I had to stop it. But this is the game I plan on beating.
If anything, that'd be my number 11 if I had to.
Yeah, this was my number 11. And then when I really thought about it, between Emio and this, I was like, no, I really like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This is one of the best.
That's a tough
This is one of the best Prince of Persia games in a long time. I put it up there with like Sands of Time because that's how good it is.
Wow.
That's super nice.
I love Sands of Time. So I was like, man, this is such a good game. You could take a photo, a snapshot of where you're at, leave it on the map so you can remind yourself, hey, there was something here, but I don't have the correct item. I can come back to it later.
What? That's actually so cool.
It's super good. Like
that is such a good mechanic. I like
that alone. I was like, okay, they were cooking with this one.
Number 9.
Number 9. We're coming back to me.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number
9. You are the last person to make a Beatles reference. All right, continue.
It's been in my brain. Number 9. Go ahead.
Number 9.
Number 9 is from a franchise and series that has been with me for a long time, and definitely speaks to like the history that I particularly grew up with. It's probably the best in its series thus far, reinventing itself every single time, but they've almost got it to like the perfect T. If not, this is perfect. It's Sonic Cross Shadow Generations.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to start it off with, I don't care about Sonic Generations anymore. I do not care about Sonic. I did play through it, but I don't care about it. Yes. It's Shadow Generations that I really want to talk about. They do everything that I want personally. An open like sandbox like Sonic like type of like engagement, similar to Frontiers, that open like void space that was created by like, you know, the villain from Sonic Generations, sure. But then they take the turn where it's actually the big bad from like Shadow the Hedgehog, who's been kind of like prepping this plot up for like a good while, and this is kind of only accelerated the plans. But essentially it's an excuse to have Shadow have like the best gameplay, but also have a whole turning point in his entire character. He's the most developed character in the Sonic series, and it's crazy that it's not even close.
That is funny. He's got like a crazy arc compared to everybody. Yep. Isn't he like 50 something?
Yeah, something like that. He's 50 plus years old now.
Yeah, he is an old
You
man.
are asking the wrong questions, Aniyah.
He's old.
But like, think about that. That's half a century tragedy. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's definitely grown for sure.
Guy.
So, and you know, the additional like add-ons here and there. I mean, we have like the latest like Shadow stage, which I haven't really done, featuring Keanu Reeves. I hope that they move forward with this like gameplay style for sure. One last thing too, because they really improve on the gameplay as far as like the boosting style, because what I've kind of come to understand with the Hedgehog engine, like S type of gameplay, is that you go fast until you hit a wall, and you only enjoy it after you played the like stage at least once or twice. But this one's like you pretty much have gotten everything down, and it's just about like quick reflexes that don't require you to like hit it within like a millisecond. It's very responsive.
All right, Naya, your number 9.
Number 9. Number 9.
This is an interesting one, because this is from you know what's funny? This at number 9 is inspired by a game I don't really have that much experience with, but like I always like the art style. On top of the art style, one of the big things that is a huge hook, as soon as you start this game, and then who does the music, it's kind of like how can you fail this game? Even though it's like at my number 9, but I play this game any day of the week. It's super nice, and that is bam! Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Good one.
It has one of my favorite producers in there, so I was like, how am I gonna knock that? I forgot to say, it's Hideki? Yeah, the guy for Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio's composer, and he also Sonic Rush's composer. So
Naganuma?
This guy, his music.
Yeah, Hideki Naganuma. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, I love that dude's style. It's super funny because he has like a bunch of like sound bits that he uses in like throughout his tracks, the little cuts and little remixes. Super nice. I love his style a lot. It worked a lot with this game where like everything as far as like a musical theme. Like look at the main villain. He has like vinyls as like swords and like distant. He cuts the head off of the guy you're playing as.
Yep.
So you gotta rock this like Evangelion noggin. Like it's pretty crazy. So I was thinking like when I was enjoying the fact that if this is what Jet Set Radio plays like, I at least got like a modern idea. I always like games that have like cell shading and abstract styles of like graphics. As much as I like high res stuff or anything like that, there's got to be something as far as like the art direction and like the personality of a game that really makes me stick with it. And I like the personality of this game a lot. This game is super fun. I definitely didn't get to finish it, but I want to enjoy the fact that like when I was playing it, I just like playing the game, like moving around and just enjoying like the escape of it. It's not like a open world game to where like everything feels full, but it's laid out to where the game is like playing into the fact that you enjoy just functioning as the character, doing tricks. Like I feel like I'm playing like Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
to run off and do like manuals and all this other stuff. Bruh, bruh, this is like the same era where it feels like I was just being like, I think I was just under 10 playing games like this.
I've beaten Jet Set Radio 1 and Future, and I love them both to death. So I need to really sit down with Bomber Cyberpunk and really like play it. It is different. It actually doesn't play like the other Jet Set Radio games for sure. It's got the same kind of feel, but definitely does not play like them. It's definitely more Tony Hawk's modern like style.
Yeah,
it's good.
I'm glad that we got physical for that one. I was kind of concerned if it wouldn't.
Me too.
Yes.
My number 9.
Number 9
is the only indie game I have on my list here.
Oh.
I wanted to enjoy a lot more indies this year, but there were so many games. I had so little time with preparing for the baby and doing some other things all year. And for instance, I really wish I got to Animal Well. I couldn't play it. And it just looks like such a good game. And also, I was waiting for limited run physical copy, and it's finally here. So now I can play it. This little gem here, this game here, might be recency bias, but I have been playing it for literally the last 4 days, and I can't stop. I'm like Danny DeVito right now. I get it. I understand.
I know what it is.
I absolutely get it.
I know what it is.
Balatro is freaking addicting, dude.
Bro, that one dude is packing in money.
I cannot.
That guy.
I cannot believe. I picked this up solely on the fact that we were like Game Award, Game of the Year nominee, crazy.
Game of the Year.
It was on sale. I got the physical copy, and I only just played it on Tuesday, and I haven't stopped playing it since Tuesday.
Man, when you get a good ass combo, it's like
oh my god! It feels
it speaks to me.
It's neurons firing.
I am on a rush when I can do a chain and I get it in first move. I was like, let's go! And then with the next one, I'm like, all right, bangers, multipliers, let's keep it going. Man, I had a run going for like an hour and a half straight. I was like, let's keep this going, baby.
Oh my god.
I felt like I was addicted to it. I was like, no. I was like, I needed to go to sleep. I had to go to work the next day, but I was like, no. I can't stop this run. We ball like first like game you play, it's poker. There's nothing different.
Yeah.
Once you start adding in the jokers, once you start adding in like multipliers. Oh, hey, if you get straights. And if you use straights, this multiplier doubles, and you keep adding to that. And you can howl at the 5 jokers. And these tarot cards are also event cards that you can just play out. And planet cards level up the multipliers on the different like types of poker things you can run. I was like, I get it. And I showed Katrina this game, and she was like, I get it.
It's crazy addicting.
She already told me if you see it missing out of your case, I'm gonna play it because
it's crazy addicting. It's so good, and they have a Stardew Valley pack, so
they're big on the collaborations.
And the physical copy is so tight. Look at this; it actually comes with cards.
It does.
Oh, actually, that's so sick. Though. Wait a minute. What the fuck?
Hold on.
Actually, wait a minute. That is so cool. What the fuck?
Dick, dude, look at this. It's even got the designs. Like, oh my god.
Is the developer like a former casino owner? Like, what does he do?
I haven't been addicted to this kind of game since like Vampire Survivors.
Oh, that game.
It's that kind of addicting. Like, it's like, oh no, I could do it again. I could do one more. I could do better than that. Nah, this is a banger, dude. This is an absolute banger. I get it.
I'm gonna take y'all word for it.
I get it.
I get it.
I don't even like card games on consoles. Like I here and there, like. But like I think I need to change that tune, dude. Like I think I need to try some deck building roguelikes because this is some good shit. Like this is addicting as hell, dude.
It's one of those where it's like I kind of want to just double up and get digital at this point because like when do I want to just kind of like do a quick match, just a quick one, and I don't want to like remove the cartridge.
At the same time, I'm just glad I even got a physical copy. We'll never lose this game.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Balatro, number 9.
Balatro, number 9. Very fair. Very good. Very good.
Sephie.
My number 9 is a great game. It's my type of game, obviously. You saw this game and you thought, damn, Sephie would really like that. And they were very correct. My number 9 is Little Kitty Big City.
Let's go.
That's right. Little Kitty Big City. It would have been higher.
On your list. I knew it.
It would have been higher on the list, but there were a lot of other really good games I played this year. But Little Kitty Big City. I mean, obviously, come on. It's cats. I love cats. Cats are one of my favorite things in the entire world. The gameplay was very cute. The art style was very cute as well. It's not terribly difficult either. You're a cat. And the whole premise is you live in like a high-rise apartment and you see like a bird or something and you fall all the way down to the bottom floor. And the whole goal is to get back to your comfy spot because you were nice and sleeping in the sun, as a little kitty should. And now you're in the big city. And it's cute because like you can go and like meow at people. I think it's based in Japan because it's like the buildings are very reminiscent. People are walking like to and from. So you could go up to people and like rub against their legs. You can make them like drop their sandwich. Like it's really cool. And basically you just go around and there's like little like side quests you could do for the different animals. There's like a cat and like a shop. There's like a raccoon that like is building like inventions and you have to like collect feathers for them. So you have to like go catch birds. And then there's like these dogs. So it's like you have to go give them a bone to get past them because they'll like growl at you. So it's like, it's a very just cute, relaxing game. There's not a lot of, you don't have to put a lot of thought into it. It's just one of those games you could just kind of put on and just, yeah, I'm going to play as a cat, you know? Obviously it got a lot of comparison to Stray. Stray is a little bit more of like a serious game. This one is just like very calm, very cute. Like, yeah, little kitty, big city. You get to collect hats too. There's like little collectibles.
Don't get the hats. Yeah, like the cute little hat things.
Hats, the cute little hats you can wear. It's just a very fun game. I very much enjoyed it. I'm not a very serious competitive gamer per se, so this was like a perfect game for me. But there were a lot of other really good games I played this year. That's why it's so low. But yeah, Little Kitty, Big City, definitely enjoyable. I love it.
I want to play it so bad. It looks super fun. And yeah,
I
was gonna say the Stray,
so cute.
The Stray comparison is super unfair because they're not the same game at all.
No, they're not. Like the only comparison is that you both play as cats, but like Stray, you have like an objective, like or like a more serious objective. This one is just like
you're just it's like Untitled Goose Game, the cat.
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly it. Exactly it. Yeah. But if you ever get a chance, play it. It's very fun. It's very cute. It's not terribly long either. So
the animation style made me want to get it.
I think the art style and animation is very cute.
It's very cute.
Super fluid and energetic.
Yes. Number 8.
Number 8. Okay.
Oh, dude. So these couple like ranks have been like really tough because it's like genre versus genre, and obviously some of the big names you're going to see like at the very top. There's no question about that. But there's games like have shared genres that I was really trying to compete with and see like where do they really place. Like, do I like this one more than the other one? 8 and 7 were kind of a juggle, although albeit like one definitely like trounces the other one for sure. But let me just show you guys. What was it? Number 8. It's Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Oh yeah,
Mario and Luigi.
So
okay.
Crazy. We've been. Sorry, Naya.
No, I was gonna say I like the fact that this is probably the only game I ever bought from the Mario and Luigi series, and I really like it because of the graphics and art style.
You should play
I like how it looks.
They also have good art styles.
Yeah,
they do, and I haven't played them, but as soon as they said RPG, I was like,
okay. You have NSO, just play Superstar Saga and look at how clean it looks for a Game Boy Advance game. Then play Brothership. You'll be like, wow, I get it.
It's been a crazy few years with like Mario as far as RPG series, right? Really just the return of like old RPG games like brought anew, and Brothership was like the latest entry in like just a Mario RPG game. It showed up like a brand new, and essentially it is important too because it's essentially Mario and Luigi meeting like current gen consoles instead of just the handheld stuff, and those were really good art style wise and also the gameplay. And this is just their adaptation for it. Heard like a couple of like things here and there as far as like where this kind of places in Mario and Luigi. Let me just tell you first and foremost, I hardly remembered the other Mario and Luigi games, so I kind of like was able to make this like more of a neutral ground for judgment for this game.
Nice. Yeah, that's very good.
That's fair.
I think
that's good.
I think the gameplay,
I wish I could.
Right. So the gameplay is like really solid. It starts off very simplistic, like a typical Mario and Luigi game would, as far as like, you know, just jumping and using your hammer. But then they unlock the bros move later on, and then the battle plugs are like the last thing, and it starts to get a little bit hectic. To each their own opinion about like the recharge rate on like those battle plugs, but it did change the game a lot like each session. What I really liked about this RPG series was it really felt like characters grew as far as their stats. So you're seeing triple digits consistently like by end game. It's just like, this is crazy because like it feels like I have to like do a lot in order to like clear through like these enemies. Otherwise, if you try to use the same tactics from like hour 1, it wouldn't really get you that far. Albeit you could do it. It's been still like the most unique like play style for RPG games in the Mario series. Considering there's the reactionary like A and B commands, that's always been like a staple that makes this stand out a lot versus like other traditional like turn-based ones. Despite like people's like gripes about like, you know, the pacing and everything, I have those gripes too, but I still like the overarching like theme of it. It's always about like the like connections with people like across like the worlds that you go to, and that's a big thing that they continue to like push like throughout the course of the story. In some ways good, some ways bad, but I think ultimately it carries a good message about it. And I'm just glad as well to share the same sentiment as Phil that they were willing to bring back the series. So
that's good.
Number 8.
Very nice. Yeah, good.
Alpha Dream's been gone for years, ever since Paper Jam. Or no, sorry, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story remake, the plus Bowser Jr. stuff on 3DS. Notoriously the worst selling Mario game of all time, unfortunately. But also, it came out on 3DS in 2019.
That's crazy.
So the Switch was already a thing. So it's like, duh, of course it's the worst selling Mario game of all time.
Yeah, they already had the Switch at that point.
It's unfortunate. So really, no one thought we would see another Mario and Luigi game ever. And so just the fact that it even exists. Also, the fact that it's the Octopath Traveler team that made that game is crazy. Like,
wow. That is wild.
I have, like I said, I can't really speak on it. It's in my honorable mentions for a reason. It clears Paper Jam and Dream Team, no problem. I need to finish it myself to really see where it falls, because it's going to be hard, because I have a lot of like love for Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story. I love those games. I also want to point out, this is the first Mario and Luigi game where Yoko Shimomura is not the composer. So I was a little bit skeptical, but the music,
it's like pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Really good. You know what? I'm glad we got a little change in there, because Yoko, love her music, right? But I mean,
New Blood.
I ain't gonna lie to you, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, Aniyah, number 8.
Oh, number 8 for Aniyah.
Bro, maybe this is probably like the start of what I would consider like what you would say would be like, that's an Aniyah game. I think so. I think I would probably say that. You can say that with Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, of course, for like the style and everything. But this one definitely speaks to like, I'm a huge fan of animation. So anytime where knowing like knowing the history behind this game, because I had wind of it for a minute, and like seeing the steps of like what it was to what it is now, it's like I got nothing but high praise for that stuff. And the effect of like making it seem like a Saturday morning cartoon, super seamless too on how they play with the frames, how you play the game, is definitely this new one that came out this year, and that is hashtag. Oop, my bad. Hashtag blood.
Yeah, there we go.
I was like, anytime now.
Hashtag. I was like, bro. This is a game that had like some gripes because of some bugs with the combat. And I think they did it like almost immediately, because they were waiting for people's feedback as far as like consistent like input. Is like, is there enough people saying there's issues with this game as far as like combat? Because there was weird invisibility frames as far as like, you know, ducking and rolling. Gives homage to Legend of Zelda, like the top down Legend of Zelda. Because like even down to like some of the utilities, like there's an umbrella in this game that's like your shield, right? And this like hockey stick she has is like her sword. It's like her master sword. And then she has like a literal hook shot. Like all the stuff that they do is obvious homage to like where they're getting the inspiration from. So when they had issues with like combat, which is one of the nice things that you get from like playing top-down Zelda, like how you feel when like interacting and fighting enemies, they have to fix that. And then it was a little bit lower to me when it first came out. Like honestly, when I played it with all the bugs, it was lower than what's his face? Duck Detective for a second.
Wow.
If I can't play the game and the main mechanic is buggy, it's like I can't really have fun with it. But as soon as that patch came out, all you gotta do is patch it. And then I was just like, Duck Detective, So all that stuff was super fun playing this game. When you see this game in motion, like everything's super lively. The cutscenes feel like it's all hand drawn too. Well, I say hand drawn because like they actually bit by bit draw the frames and everything. Super clean in betweens and everything. I think like if most games look like this, I think like, I'll never have an issue. I always have like a soft spot for games that do like frame by frame animation, because it's clean. There's not like weird hiccups. There's nothing like weird, or like if it's jarring. It's an animation tactic to like squish and stretch. to give weight and feel to certain scenes. Love it. Love this game. It's fun. I like if it's on sale, like get it now, kind of fun. Like buy it. Like it's a good game.
Nice. Number 8.
Number
on
8.
My side is a game I'm currently in the middle of. I'm not. This is the Switch game I gotta finish before I play Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Yes.
And it is a series that I absolutely love. I'm glad we finally got this game in the West because I've been wanting to play it since it came out last year in Japan. But here's the thing: I'm really enjoying it. It's really good. I mean, they never miss for me. It can be better or worse than some of the other games in the series, but like I will always vouch for this series whenever we get the chance and it comes out because man, East 10 Nordics baby is so good. East 10 Nordics is so good. I don't think it's gonna clear 8 Lacrimosa of Donna. That game is a masterpiece in my opinion. This one's okay. It's fine. I like it. Like I said, there's no bad East game. So like you can play any of them and be like enjoying it. I'm not like the biggest fan of the ship parts to be honest, but it's different. You know, they were getting like the East games were getting a little like samey for a moment. So this is a different game. That's good. So I'm glad about it. So I like it more than 9 for sure. The music never misses. This is East. If you're gonna play an East game, you just know that you'll always get good music no matter what you do. All right, it can be the worst game in the world, but the music clears. I think this is the best running East game on Switch. This is actually ported by Falcom themselves and not like a third party porting it. The story's getting good. Story's getting really good. I am halfway through the game. There's 10 chapters. You're starting to get a lot of the twists that make East so like crazy towards the end. You're like, well, I didn't see that coming a mile away. Like I will say at the time of this recording, they did just announce East 10 Proud Nordics, which is basically like the Persona 5 Royal version of this game. And so I'm like kind of like tempted to just stop playing this. I will not do that unless they say it's Switch 2. So, you know, if it's a Switch 2 game, I'm just going to buy it on there, call it a day. Like I can get on there.
Fair.
Fair.
Like, as right now, yeah, it's really good and I love it. I will support East no matter what. East is a like top 5 favorite series of mine for sure.
All right, number 8 for Sephie.
What do
you have?
Number 8
is actually a sequel to a game that came out. I don't remember when it came out, but it came out not too long ago, and it is still in early access technically. But if you play the game, it doesn't really feel like early access. It feels like it could be complete.
Fortnite. Oh, I'm sorry.
Fortnite. Actually, I know. I think I know.
I think I know what it is actually.
And obviously, I have a little bit of bias towards it because it shares my real name.
Keep going.
My number 8 is Hades 2. Hades 2, okay, I just have to say the graphics are amazing. The story is really cool. I love mythology, especially Greek mythology, because that's, again, where my name comes from. But I really enjoyed the graphics. The gameplay is very smooth. All the characters, obviously, all the Greek gods and goddesses, like, super cool. The character designs are awesome. The music is really good too, especially when you get to Oceanus and you have to go fight the sirens because they're like a whole ass band and they got some bangers of songs. But it's really cool. I really liked the fact that they were continuing it with Zagreus' sister Melanoy. And the whole premise is you have to find Hades. Well, you know where Hades is at. Eventually you find him, but you have to find your family. So Zagreus and Persephone and Hades are missing, and you play as Melanoy, and you have to basically go find them. And it's because of Kronos. He basically took over everything. So you have to figure out, like, how do you beat the god of time? You know, so it's all about, like, trying to beat the god of time. And you're with Hecate, and she's, you know, a witch. So you have, like, all these, like, magical powers and stuff. And there's, like, different weapons you can specialize in, different, like, power-ups you can get and stuff. And it's very cool. Like, I don't know. I love mythology stories like that, especially Greek mythology. I think that the art style is very good. It's probably better than the first one. And it's got a lot of character. It's got a lot of heart. The music, like I said, is banging. It's really good. And even for it being early access, like, I'm excited to see where it goes, because I feel like if they were to put this out now, it'd be like a super, like, complete game. But you can obviously tell, like, there's some stuff that you can't do yet, especially when you get to the top side. I was very much enjoying it. And I'm really excited for, like, the next big updates to come out, because I really want them to, to continue. Also, spoiler alert, when you get to Kronos, when you finally get to him, there's a really funny mechanic because he's the god of time, you know? So you can't pause the game when you're fighting him. So you got to be ready to go all in because if you try to pause, he will unpause the game and tell you, like, nope, can't do that. And I don't know, that's so fucking cool.
That's good.
I just think
like
that's
that.
so cool. Yeah, I think that's so cool. Yeah, that is my number 8. I'm really excited for the actual full game to be released. Because if the early access was this good, like I can only imagine like what they're gonna add like for the full game. So
if Hades
That's
2
beautiful.
becomes a Switch 2 like first year like indie game, man.
I know.
It's
so
that'd be a good first step.
That's a good first year for the Switch 2, baby.
Yeah, so I definitely think it deserves a spot on the top 10. So that's my number 8.
Justin,
number 7.
Number 7.
Ooh,
number 7.
Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. It's another RPG game.
What?
No way, bro! I did just like spoil the fact that like it's these two like competing against each other, but one of them like definitely just kind of like outreaches like a little bit more than the previous one. So previous one was Mario and Luigi. This one is Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right, baby. Mario.
I was kind of going back and forth on this one. After I cleared this off in like I believe August, I kind of forgot about like Thousand Year Door because I think unfairly I played this game like 3 other times like prior to the remake, and I don't know if it was just like the child in me wanting to replay the series over again, but it was good for a reason, and replaying it now was game, like bro. It makes sense, and it really is like not a remaster, it's just like a full-fledged like remake because everything is honestly, there is a genuine good reason why it's like stuck to 30 frames. It's because they add so many visuals into it, and apart from visuals and like performance stuff, the music has been like super touched up. They've done the treatment of just dynamic orchestrating like the different battle themes, for example. Each one's different, so it just feels like a breath of fresh air in that aspect. The story doesn't need to be touched. It is pretty serviceable. I would say that I kind of prefer like Mario and Luigi's a little bit more than Thousand Year Door, but this also just stands the test of time. It's something that you can definitely just kind of sit with and be engaged with. Everything's different. You love the characters that you encounter in this one. Your partners are great. They need to bring back partners in Paper Mario games later on. Even though the gameplay, I would say for Brothership is better than like Thousand Year Door, because I think Thousand Year Door is a little bit more of a simplistic, like traditional way of doing things. It still holds up, especially with some of the customization stuff you can do with badges and whatnot. I mean, this has been like a highly regarded Paper Mario game for a reason. So everyone needs to try it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
So, number 7.
They call it evergreen. They call it evergreen because it stayed clean. Anyway, let me look.
Aniyah.
Number 7.
Number 7.
I wonder how you guys are gonna feel about this one. I'm still playing this game and enjoying the hell out of it. I didn't think I was gonna like it like that because it's an old game. So when I was playing it, I was like, I'm gonna see what was the deal, because it came out for a console that I think I wasn't huge into its gimmick. So when I started playing this on the Switch, I was like, oh, this is definitely gonna work out because of, you know, all the things that the Switch is able to do.
And Fitness Boxing 3, no way.
And
I think I have an idea what it is.
We'll
see.
Your problem. But and it just got announced for a sequel.
Yep.
Okami HD.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Oh hell.
Bro, this game. I was so mad that I never played this game before.
That's the most shocking thing I've heard coming out of you, because that's one of the most Aniyah games I've ever seen in my life. And you're a PS2 guy. That's one of the PS2 staples.
PS2.
Like, bro, I was like, the gimmick of like the motion. I was just like,
oh, you're talking about the Wii version. No, it was a PS2 game originally.
I didn't know that, but it's funny,
that's crazy.
It was ported to the Wii, and it plays interestingly with the Wiimote, but realistically, it was meant for a controller.
Yeah, because like you're able to use the analog and everything.
Yeah, the paintbrush.
They give you both in that regard. But like, and then what is it? What's his name? The guy who is it director?
Kamiya?
Oh, Hideki Kamiya.
Yeah.
Kamiya. Doing the whole like, what is it? Bayonetta, and
he's the creator of Devil May Cry, the creator of Bayonetta, and he's the director for Resident Evil 2, the original.
Crazy.
When I was playing it, and they have those
and he's the creator of Beautiful Joe. Sorry.
Yeah, like when you're in the segments of fighting the enemies, you're just like you're closed off, and then depending on what you do, you get graded for each battle segment. So I was like, that's what you're doing, like Bayonetta and what is it, Devil May Cry? You're like all the grading for your fighting. So I was like, oh wow, no does this guy. But then like
Kamiya has a very specific style of game, and you see it. Since Beautiful Joe, he's done that grading thing. Oh well, no, Devil May Cry.
Yeah, Devil May Cry was first, right?
Yeah, Devil May Cry.
So the aspect of Amaterasu being like the goddess of the sun, and then the fact that the abilities that Amaterasu has is broken up into the 13 other gods. The celestial brush, as soon as like, all right, look, I gave it a shot. I'm a risky dude. Don't play with the pro controller, even with the motion controls.
Oh, you try to play it Wii style. Okay.
You use this stupid. Like, if you want to go to the left, you gotta turn it like a steering wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm using tilt controls.
Yeah, I was like, you can't do this to me. So when I got the Joy-Cons and then just had them like this, bro, that is such a the intuition, right? The intuitive part of it, right? The design of when you're holding the brush, when you hold down like the celestial brush, it freezes the screen, and then you're able to like pan and like even 360 the camera. So depending on the abilities you get, because where am I? I have the lily pad ability, but before that, as far as like offensive abilities, I have the fireworks bomb, like the bomb.
Oh
effect.
yeah,
bro. Like you get to flip around. You might have like hitbox issues because if you draw a circle like past, or like you might hit the object you want to draw it on, you could end up drawing the sun because that's something you're able to do in the game. So I was like,
yeah.
It's interesting how many things you can get out of this game, and then you play more Kamiya games later. And there's a lot of ideas he took from here, like Wonderful 101, the drawing. It's basically this. Kami is compared to The Legend of Zelda a lot in the sense that it is that kind of style of game, 3D action, puzzle solving, like
the cell shading.
Cell shading is what makes it unique. Yeah. So
like
this
is
basically Capcom's Zelda game.
Yeah, the fact that they have the aesthetic of you being like a Japanese brush painting, like all that fits in. Like even when you're walking around in the levels, you'll see like the name of where you're gonna go. But in most of the borders for like a title, they'll have like a square and then the title going down because Japanese calligraphy, it goes up, top to bottom. So I was just like, bro, everything thematically for this game works. All the aesthetics just work out. The gameplay still feels fun because like I remember even looking at Okami, I was like, oh, you play as the dog. How fun is that gonna be? And this was when I was short-sighted and stupid because this game is great. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I didn't even know it was gonna be like that. So I'm like, this is me. This like anything that goes to like art, like you got me already. I'm definitely
weird that they're saying that it's finally getting a sequel. People forget about Okami Den, which is a DS sequel.
Yeah, you did mention that too. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's like you play as Amaterasu's son, little puppy.
Little puppy.
Yeah,
little pup.
Who knows if they'll get a port for that, but we'll see.
No, probably not. The game is real. I don't usually condone emulation, but like yikes, that game is expensive as heck. Just play it. Play it however you have the means to play it.
Yeah.
Was it made by the same guy or no?
No, because Clover Studios had already shut down by then, and he already created Platinum Games.
Maybe. Do you think that's probably why they don't call it a sequel? Because it's not the same dude.
Yeah, maybe.
That is weird.
Yeah,
because it's weird that there's a sequel and they're like, nah, that's not a sequel.
It is a little bit different. If this is 3D Zelda, that one's more like top-down Zelda.
You got me already. I'm about to. Wait, how much does it cost?
Like $200 physically for a DS game. So like that's why I'm saying, do what you got to do to play it. If you
do what you got to do. That's all we'll say here.
I am very excited to see Kamiya back doing Okami. Just back in Capcom in general. Clover Studios is one of the coolest studios that Capcom used to have until everybody left Clover Studios and then went to form Platinum Games. And now I'm hearing all the big heads at Platinum left to join this new studio, Clovers, that Kamiya started.
How old is Okami? Like the first iteration?
First PS2 era.
PS2 era. So I mean,
it's a PS2
like what, 5 or something?
Yeah, 4 or 5, something like that. Late PS2, but it was a PS2. It's considered one of the best PS2 games of all time. Yes, that's why it's like I'm surprised you've never played. You're a big PS2 buff, so I figured this is like up your alley.
I just love Tekken 5 and so like God of War.
I mean,
that's also fair.
My number
seven.
Oh yes, you're number 7.
Number 7.
What is your lucky number?
Number 7
7
is the game you guys are gonna be like, wow, you put it that low. Look, I think the game is incredible. I loved it. I beat it. It was one of the best games this year for me. It's just like the other 6, man. It was rough to pick. It was rough to pick between these, and this is where I was starting to get like, where do I place this? Because did I really enjoy this as more than some of these other games? And I love it to death. But like, you know what? I'm just gonna talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. My number 7 is this little hidden gem. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh no.
Really niche franchise. I'm sure you've never heard of it, but it's called The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Wait, seriously, guys, is that low? I have to say it. It's that low.
Look, I have a lot of other games that you'll see. These are all from East onward. These are all Philip games. Like,
yeah, Philip,
so like these are very Philip ass games. But
okay.
Did not think in a million years. The fact that we got Tears of the Kingdom last year, we were gonna get another mainline Zelda.
Yeah, for real.
We got Echoes of freaking Wisdom, and it is really cool that we're still getting top-down Zeldas, and unique ones. I will give it this much: it is very different to any other Zelda game I've ever played.
Yes, definitely.
It's super different. I love that about it. I love the idea that you're playing as Zelda, and she's not a sword fighter. She's a wizard or a mage because she uses her wisdom powers. So you have to understand how to play around with that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I really like the mechanics of this game. It's very different, but in like a good way.
Yeah, I have one big nitpick with it, and it's the menu system. Jesus Christ, yo, Nintendo, you couldn't figure something better out.
Yeah, honestly, okay.
Holy crap,
that's rough.
Seriously, yeah, I'm with you there.
Here's the thing: Tears of the Kingdom falls for the same thing too.
True.
That's the worst part.
Yes,
but I feel like it's more egregious here because I'm always having to open the menu more. Like,
yeah,
more so than what you got to do with Link. I get you.
Yeah, I'm with. Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
but
that's super interesting.
It's really good. The music is incredible. Again, it's Zelda. I didn't think the music was going to be bad either. I like the fact that it actually has real dungeons. You know, something that Tears of the Kingdom kind of has, and then Breath of the Wild just didn't really have.
Yeah, whatever you expect from like a Legend of Zelda dungeon.
Like an actual dungeon system where you actually have to get through and solve puzzles. They're not like the hardest dungeons in the world, but they're fine. Like they're serviceable.
That's exactly why I like it so much.
Yeah, they're serviceable. They're not like gonna challenge you because they basically give you all the tools you need up front. You know, this is not a game where it's like, because again, it's different than a normal Zelda game. So it's not a Zelda game where it's going to give you a specific item. You need that item to get through the dungeon. It's going to give you all the echoes that you need and use those echoes wisely to figure out how to get through the dungeon.
Yeah, I think like it just like speaks to Zelda's character about being the Triforce holder of the Triforce of Wisdom.
Of wisdom, yes. You have to use that to your advantage and figure out the best way to go about it.
I also really love the map because it's literally a Link to the Past. But it's expanded past that. Like, it's a Link to the Past if it had an outer rim with more like continents and areas to explore. That's literally the map like design, and it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see them integrate 3D Zelda things into this. Like Farron Woods has like all the little Deku scrubs, and I can't believe they actually acknowledge that 2 different races of Zora exist.
Yeah. I was like, that was crazy. I was like, oh, we have the River Zora and the Sea Zora.
And the River Zora are so cute. The River Zora are the Link to the Past ones.
Looking.
Yeah.
Really?
They're the classic style Zora, while the Sea Zora are the 3D like Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask style. Yeah. Really funny that they did that. And then like the Gerudo is still a thing, and it's really funny. I can just walk into Gerudo Town, not have to disguise myself.
True that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, another Zelda game that Ganon's not the last boss. I was like, wow.
Oh, word.
Wow, that's a crazy. You don't get many of those. Like, there's maybe like I think you can count them all on your hand. How many of those Zelda games exist? Really, really cool. I love it.
2.
I'm just glad. No, it's like less than 5, or it's like 5, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Just know that it's really different. It's really cool. I'm just glad that they're keeping 2D Zelda alive. It's kind of like how when Mario Wonder came out last year, they're keeping 2D Mario alive still by doing different things as well. It's not just like, oh, 3D Zelda, that's it. 3D Mario, no, we're keeping both styles alive.
No, I like that a lot.
So, Sephie, your number 7.
Number
My
7.
number 7 is from a series that is still going on. I'm surprised of how many games and how much lore we've gotten from this damn game and story. But I'm just going to get into it. It is Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit.
What?
So, a little known fact about me. As much as I complain about playing scary games and shit like that, I've played a lot of scary games in my lifetime. And I actually am really into Five Nights at Freddy's lore. So I have played all the games up until the only one I haven't played, I think, was Ultimate Custom Night and FNAF World. And that's just because Ultimate Custom Night is just you just play the game and you can like do different settings and stuff. But anyways, FNAF Into the Pit was really good. It's based off of one of the books, like a side story type thing. But I put it on my top 10 because the gameplay is actually really good and the story is pretty interesting. So you play as this kid who you live in this like town, and the town's kind of dying out because the old mill that people worked at is closed. So the town is kind of just like not very like profitable. So a lot of people are moving away and this and that. And you go to this old pizza place called Jeff's Pizza that used to be a Fredbear's or Freddy's Pizzeria, and your dad gets kidnapped by Springtrap, the evil, rabbit, and you have to go and find him and like do it. But the game's actually fucking scary. Like right off the bat, they're doing jump scares. It was scary. But I love Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm super into the lore and everything, so it was really cool to get into it. And the fact is, you go into like this ball pit and you have to travel between your present world and then like the past. So like there's like this old ball pit that you find in the pizzeria, and you go into it and you get teleported back to like the 1980s when it was like up and popping, and you have to travel between the two worlds and like every night. And then you find out that your dad's been possessed by Springtrap. So you have to like avoid him and like go back and try to like figure out like how to fix him essentially. But I really liked it a lot. I think the story was really interesting. The mechanics were pretty cool. It's Five Nights at Freddy's, bro. It's cool. I like Five Nights at Freddy's. The game isn't too terribly hard either. And you do get different endings depending on like the little secrets that you find and stuff like that. And then, of course, you have mini games within the games. There's like arcade games that you can play that kind of like, I guess, give more to like the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I don't really know where this one is placed on the timeline per se. I don't think it is placed anywhere. I think it's, like I said, it's based off of a book, which is like a side story. And the book canons themselves kind of weird, but I very much enjoyed it. I think it deserved a place on the list. Like I said, it was not a terribly long game either. I thoroughly enjoyed it, although it was very scary. So, because I don't like jump scares. So
same here, but you're still a stronger
I don't
person
like
than
jump
I am.
scares. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it deserved a place on the list. Like I said, very much enjoy Five Nights at Freddy's. So any Five Nights at Freddy's game, it's gonna get a thumbs up from me. So that's my number 7.
Justin.
Okay, number 6. Ooh, we're getting
Number
closer and
6.
closer.
Number 6. This 6 and 5. It's another like duel between like very similar like genres of games. So it's been like me like going back and forth, especially with number 5. But we'll get to that eventually. Number 6 though, it's already been mentioned before here, but I really loved it. For someone who's not even like into the series like that, this is maybe not the best introduction because it doesn't really play like the other ones before. It's kind of more experimental, but it was super good. And honestly, if it weren't for the fact that I know that team is going through it, if not, I've already disbanded, I would love to see more of it. Ladies and gentlemen, number 6, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Yeah!
Nice. 6, bro.
That's a good, hell yeah.
It's really good for a Metroidvania.
It's good.
It's pretty friendly when it comes to just the Metroidvania aspects of it. We talked about the image saving memories mechanic, but even then, it's just like a super cool like Metroidvania that, if you're really like actively paying attention, you may not even use it as much. There's like different ways to go about the game. You are right, it doesn't really handhold you. You have to kind of pay attention to like where you want to be, where you need to go. There's so many things I want to sing praises to it. The music's like super good. There's certain like areas that are affected by the time situation, To not like really go into spoilers to that, there's just one particular one that holds everything and it's perfect for platforming, but it's also like as a visual aesthetic, it looks like super cool. And also just kind of following like Sargon's story and all the different like plot points here and there has been like a super engaging bit on top of just being like super addicting in like the platforming aspects of it. Because I love the platforming in this one. And,
the wall jumping,
your different abilities that you get later on.
Very much Prince of Persia-esque platforming. You know, because Metroid can't have that. That is very much a Prince of Persia staple is platforming.
I was gonna say, speaking of like Sargon and everybody, like the voice acting, these characters did pretty good.
Yeah,
like, the people in here, there's like what fully voice acted or like majority
for the most part.
Like,
yeah,
it was solid, bro. Like, man, it was like no real like lack of quality in this game.
Yeah,
no.
Also,
it's just like damn good game.
Also, kind of Souls-like in the form that like it gets kind of tough, and you have to keep in mind of like how far you're traveling away from like your last save point, because some of these enemies you'll pick them up easily, but it's just the initial like confrontations you really need to be on the defensive side, and that's not even talking about the boss fights. Like you're gonna retry them a couple times before you get it down, and that's number 6, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown.
Nice. All right, Aniyah, number 6.
Number 6 is also a game I recently just started playing, and this speaks to more of me enjoying like games that are challenging, because I like games that are like super easy, super cozy. I like those kinds of games if I'm just trying not to have an aneurysm for getting mad. But I do like getting those games that just like I feel like seeing if I could just like test some waters to see how good I am to like challenge myself, and they did pretty good this year because this is the people's choice, babies. The people's choices, Black Myth Wukong. Dog, this game. Hold on. First of all, when I first saw it, like when everybody got wind of this game and it got announced, this game looking this clean, and it's just like just pre-footed, whatever, like alpha stage, whatever you want to call it. This just looks great. The style of it, from like the fact that this is like a very famous story, and then like inspiration for like Goku, and then what is it? I think I'm trying to think of another popular show aside from Dragon Ball, but like just in general, this is a very popular story. I think like even the movie, I think it was a movie called Kingdom with like Jet Li and Jackie Chan. Yeah, that had this. That's the one. And I was just like, this is an influential story. So to have the spin of this, but just throw in like Souls-like, kind of crazy combination. One of the things I've noticed from the people who talk about this game, there's something to enjoy from the Souls-like part of it, but it also does feel like something's missing in terms of like maybe just an exploration, because this feels like it's one of those boss rush kind of games. The spacing between me fighting one boss and going to the next, I was like, wow, I'm already fighting this dude. Who's this guy? What's his name? Or like it just kind of feels like that sometimes. Or like there's bosses that like you end up fighting once and then they show up again and you got to fight them for a second time in like a different form or something. In terms of like exploring around and finding things, you still get that aspect. You get to make different kind of medicines, make armor, and I don't know, you get to make armor. I don't know if you get to like boost armor. You get the armor that has like specific like stats and like attributes like fireproof, or you get more stamina, or you get added attack for some specific move. Super cool. The skill tree, you get the boost up, all that other nonsense, right? The things you expect from like an action RPG. Even for like the challenge part, it's kind of forgiving, because when you die in a Souls game, they make you like wait and load, but then you also lose like all the things you carry. Doesn't feel like this happens in that game. There's also that kind of like the turn of being that challenging for you. But bro, the feel of this game, I just like the way this game plays. There could be issues with like some okay, I'm gonna try to, because like this is where I think the difference comes in. Like the way you read an attack in Souls games, it feels obvious, but then of course like you can still mess up. You still have that in this game, but sometimes it feels like that might be less forgiving as far as like you having a chance to like dodge a character, or like dodge an attack from an enemy. It feels like a little bit not polished. Like there's a lack of polish in it. And it's not like in the same way where like a lack of polish for lack of a better word, with like Bloodborne, one of the best games. I love that game. But like the lack of polish in that game, this like that's superseded by like the art direction and the combat. So there's something about that that I feel like maybe I might be missing when I'm playing Wukong. But lack of all the stuff I have to criticize about it, number 6.
Nice.
Nice. It's a good game.
I want to play
really
it.
Cool.
I really want to play it. I was waiting for the physical copy. It came out. Now I just got to get it. So,
but yeah,
number 6 is something I never thought we would ever get again. This series is dead. It ain't happening anymore. It's and these are some of my favorite games of all time, literally like of all time. And I just, when they announced it, I had the same reaction as everybody else. I was freaking out, and then it finally came out, and they gave us a physical copy.
Ooh.
Because I never want to lose these ever again. But ladies and gentlemen, my number 6 is the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection.
Okay.
Okay. Look at him. Boys are back in town. Hey, look at them.
Look at this. They got the Cyclops Ryu. we back, baby. Like,
and look at them. It's like, brother, I ain't seen you.
This is literally amazing. Like, I don't know what kind of like hoops and hurdles they had to get to make this, but having all of the arcade perfect versions, which is something we've never had. That's the biggest thing here, is we've had some of these games beforehand on other platforms, but to have the arcade perfect ports, even the competitive version that they use for MVC2, which is the Dreamcast version, that version still has its issues compared to the original. This is everything. The original ROMs on a cartridge or disc if you're on PS4, and it's just amazing that this collection even exists. 7 games. I'll get to the Punisher in a minute. That's separate. That's a beat 'em up. That's not a fighting game. But the other is, man, all of these are stone cold classics. Not a single bad game on this collection. I just really love Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm more of an MVC1 kind of guy, but I love all of them. They are all just fantastic. The music is ingrained in my brain for like ever. That menu, that short loop menu music from MVC1, that's nostalgic for me. Like, I always just remember going to an arcade and like playing that, and just having an easy way to play this now. It's so good, and some of the best rollback netcode that we can play online. Man, they did such a good job. Plus, the museum art stuff is really cool. The soundtracks are all available from the get-go, and they even tweaked it to where you can unlock the secret characters that are not normally accessible, like through normal play. Like, you can just play them. That's so cool. And then the Punisher, right? Just throwing in the Punisher as a bonus. I've never played that game. I knew that there's a Genesis version of that game. I also know that it is also a butchered version of that game. So having an arcade perfect port of the Punisher, which is like really violent beat 'em up, but I'm down for it, homie. Like, it's good. I love it. This is literally one of the best retro collections ever. The most Philip-ass collection is still coming out next year, which is the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. That is a collection for me. That is my favorite Capcom Fighting game.
Collection.
Like, they did it for me.
No, they should just call it the Philip Collection.
These I still love to death though. MVC1's one of my favorite fighting games, and MVC2 is up there as well. So I just I can't believe we actually have this physically. They can never take this away from us again.
Hell yeah.
Never.
Arcade perfect.
Oh yeah, it comes with a little comic book. It's really cute. Actual Marvel designed comic book. It's really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I was trying to read
what
that
the
one.
hell? That's cool.
He's like, they were like, it wasn't us, and then Bison and Doom was like, dang, they found us.
They found us.
That's great.
I love it.
Cute.
Number 6.
Nice. Okay, number 6.
Number 6.
All right, so my number 6 is an older game. I had heard about it, but I've never actually played it myself. And fair warning, I did not actually play this. I watched Frank play it. So for me, it was more of the story. That's why I put it on my list.
It's a girl from reviews. Sorry.
No way you said that out loud. Go.
So it is my number 6 is Soma. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had heard about this game, but I never really knew what it was about. And then Frank was like, hey, this is a game we should play together. So I was like, yeah, cool. So I basically watched him play the whole game. I think it deserves to be on the list just for the story alone. It really kind of made you think at the end. So the whole premise is you play as this guy And at the beginning, you're going in to do this like brain study, like you're having trouble. You were in a car accident and you have a little bit of brain damage. So you're going in, you go under this brain scan, and then you wake up and you're in this like underwater facility and you have no idea what's going on. You're like, what the hell is all of this? And it's kind of a horror game, like horror stealth game, because there's like these like creatures roaming around. And eventually you find Catherine. You think it's a real person because she's like talking to you like over the intercom and stuff, but you find out she's just a uploaded consciousness of the real Catherine. And she tells you like how to put her into this like little machine so she can go with you. And essentially the whole premise is you have to find this thing called the Ark, which is a machine or something that they built to basically keep records of humanity alive. So you find out that you're like years into the future, like years and years in the future. And the whole thing is you have to find the Ark so you can upload your consciousness. And you find out that you are the brain scan of this guy who got this brain scan tons of years ago. They kept it around as like a training device type thing. And you're uploaded into this robot. So you are a robot, but you still feel like the guy that you're playing at the beginning. And it's just a really good commentary on like, is it really you? Like, it's your consciousness? Yes.
Oh,
and you may feel like yourself, but is it really you? And you find out that this underwater facility had this like AI that went rogue and it was trying to preserve humanity, but it did it in a really like crazy way. So there's like these like grotesque like robot like hybrid things that are like in the area. You have to like avoid them. And then the end of the story basically is you find the Ark, and somewhere in the story Catherine tells you like basically it's you are not going on the Ark. It's like a copy of your consciousness. Like you are copying yourself to be uploaded to this. So it's like, and you kind of like, you remember that, but it's a big gut punch because at the end you find the Ark and you have to like, you upload you and Catherine to it. But then at the end it's like, well, what happened? And she's like, well, I told you, like, it's not, we are not physically going on there. We're copying ourselves to go on there. And then it's just, I don't know. It was really good. The gameplay was cool. I don't know. It just really made me.
This is done by the same team who made Amnesia, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to make sure it's the same Amnesia team because I remember Soma. It's been a while, but
yes, just it was so good. The story was good. The gameplay was, it's fine. It's just basically just walking around. You can't really. There's no combat, so you can't like defend yourself. Basically, you have to like hide and like do like selfie stuff. It was a really good game.
That's that.
The story definitely hit.
What's that thing? Infinite Tsukiyomi. That's what that is. Yeah. Naruto. Everybody's in like that tree of their best dreams.
Yeah,
like it's not real. I'm a fig Newton of my imagination, like stuff like that. It doesn't work out.
It was it was good. I can see why a lot of people talk about it. But that's why it was on my top 10.
Nice, Justin.
Okay.
We're at number 5. Number 5.
Halfway, baby.
Halfway there. And we're gonna start with a game that released last year. It's the only game on my list that's from 2023 and not 2024. And as I was saying earlier, it competed with Prince of Persia, like as far as like of a similar like genre, right? And this one was a really tough call because like I love Prince of Persia, but like I don't know, this one hits differently. It's something that's been featured last year as far as like top 10s for people. It somehow made its way over to mine. Ladies and gentlemen,
hell yeah.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder is on this list.
Yes!
We're back.
So the timeline is I played this at some point in December, finished it in January, so it made the cut, and I'm glad I did actually play through it.
My game of the year 2023. Yup.
Because
cool.
Yeah, Prince of Persia Lost Crown like was like kind of a league of its own, considering that it was something that I've never like experienced in Prince of Persia like whatsoever. But it was like it felt super polished. This is like polished above that. Like what the it's crazy. The art style I decided to like go with is just perfect. It can literally like live on with this art style for like years on end, and it will still feel refreshing. I think that all the different worlds are like really cool to look at. The stages themselves have been like something I never got bored of. There's a lot of praises to like this platformer, and yeah, as you said before, I'm just glad that they decided to carry on with the 2D like Mario's. It still made it fresh.
We call that evergreen. That's evergreen content. Yeah.
Evergreen content because it
Yeah.
stays clean.
So cool.
Yeah. I think the Wonder like flower does like kind of like keep it like a step above, is keeping things like refreshing each stage, because you don't really know what to expect. There's some that will like loop over, but otherwise it's always refreshing to see like how the stages like evolve, and having to go back for like different results or get like the extra like little seed that you need. And of course there is the secret world levels, which are like really demanding. And so I love the challenge.
Nails, yep.
Yeah. So there's definitely the challenge mechanic there, but it's super good. Regardless, it has several years to get the formula right and perfect it. This is like the next like pinnacle for like 2D Mario. So
Nice.
Number 5.
I put that Mario game on the same ranking as Mario 3 and Mario World, as like literally some of the best platformers you'll ever play in your life. It really is an S tier Super Mario game.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Nothing but good
Hell
praises.
yeah. Hell yeah. All right, Aniyah. Number 5.
Number 5.
Number
Go.
5.
I don't know if
Patrick.
did I say this while I was recorded. Before we were getting started, this is the game I was mentioning that like I feel like I'm playing it on the console that wasn't really complimenting it. It's the Switch version. There was some weird drops, and then like there would be a point where like when I'm playing it, it would like I would freeze, and I'm just like, okay, my character, I don't know why. But even with all that, this game, I've been waiting for it. And it doesn't have a physical copy yet until next year.
Ooh.
And I'm talking about the Plucky Squire.
Oh my god.
Nice. Bro, this game, like again, the Aniyah game. It really wants to like speak to its demographic of people who want to make art or just write stories. Anyone who's artistic in any kind of fashion, this is definitely be like it'll speak to you in some kind of way. Also, and even in just like how it is some ambitious things when it comes to like being 2D and 3D. I'm pretty sure like the ambition of like the 2D part, where it's like your art style, you look like a storybook. The layout is that you're in like this kid's storybook, like the long picture book of everybody walking through each levels and everything. The art style from transferring to 2D to 3D, because you do that in terms of like the story's concept. Like the wizard that you're fighting against, he's like, oh, I just found out we're part of a story, so it's all written. Now I'm just gonna take this meta power or like meta magic, and then he tends to like rewrite all the books. So within that, he goes outside of the book and he goes and finds like different things, like an album cover. He'll take like a piece of the album cover and use it inside the book to go against like everybody else. And then the same thing for your character, where you get to use like other items that one of the wizard, what's his name? Moonbeard? It's like a wizard character who's like the Gandalf who helps you out, or like Melvin or whatever. So you get all that happening, right? The creative part is like when you get to use the meta magic in terms of like level design and finding out puzzles. You get to use the book to find out ways of like progressing into the game, either by figuring out the puzzle, by flipping pages, or like closing the book and flipping what was on the other page on the other side. It's crazy. It's crazy how they would like flip that in and make it as creative as they did. It appealed to me for all those reasons of hitting 2D and 3D, and like the flow of animation looks clean. It's just a fun game. The mechanics are fun, like top-down Zelda, and then like 3D Zelda. Like it just goes from like hopping into like the 3D space, and then you're fighting in a 3D plane. It's super cool.
It looked really cool.
And
I was very interested in playing it, so I think I am going to check it out, because I was like, oh, this is actually a really cool concept.
That's also funny you said that, because like the Switch version didn't get terrible reviews. I do acknowledge that it did get lower reviews than the PS5 and every other version. It still was like, oh yeah, it's an all right port.
Yeah, because like
it's
some hiccups. Like those hiccups will probably be like minor compared to everybody else's experience, which is why this thing's at 7 out of top 10 is 5. Halfway up this mark. Like the enjoyability.
Well, good, because I'm planning to pick up the Switch physical copy next year. So
yeah, I'm getting it. Like I think maybe it might just need what blood #blood needed, like just a patch, and then
maybe
because when I was doing it, it was more of like because you get to transfer going 3D to 2D. I was doing that for one part of the game, and I was fighting an enemy while I was in mid like spin slash, I just stopped. So I was just like, do I have to turn this off or do I have to that? I think I just pressed a button and then I just moved again. It's just like little hiccups like that. So it's like patch it, we're good. Not a bad port to where this game is like can't get its praises. Love this game. Oh, but you know what? They do different genres. Like there's a rhythm part of the game, and then what's that puzzle bobble?
Oh, what the? Okay,
yeah,
that's not what I was thinking. Like, I know about the Punch Out one.
Yeah, Punch Out. Oh yeah, that's like the first thing they throw you into. It's funny, but yeah, puzzle bobble.
Nice
like,
puzzle bobble.
Phil, your number 5.
Number 5. My number 5 was a game they announced early this year, and I was really excited to play it because I love the original game so much. Absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite in this series. When I played this in its complete entirety, I was like, whoa, yo, it's peak. There's nothing better than this right now. Unlike Justin, I actually have a lot to say because I love Sonic Generations. So I have Sonic Cross Shadow Generations at number 5.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yes.
I understand Justin's gripe with Sonic Generations. All right, I understand them 100%. But Sonic Generations has always been a top 3 Sonic game for me. It is right behind Adventure 2 and Mania as like my favorite Sonic games. So when you tell me they're going to re-release it, but also add an entirely new game with some of the same concepts, Shadow Generations, and then Shadow Generations ends up being the better of the two, I was like, no way. To speak on Sonic Generations' behalf on this collection, yep, it's Sonic Generations. I don't know what else to tell you. It's Sonic.
It's Sonic, bro.
It's the Sonic Generations that you remember. It's the Sonic Generations that you love. They didn't really change much. They added Chows.
Oh yeah. Oh, true.
Cute, but you can't do anything with them.
That's not Chow Garden.
It makes it to where there's a new collectible.
Thank you.
But that's about it. Like, but yeah, it's still Sonic Generations, and I always loved that game. It made me be a fan of Sonic again. Back when I was just kind of like Sonic 06, ew, Unleashed, the Werewolf stages, ew, and I hadn't played Colors by then, so that was on me.
I gotta get this game, man. I have not played it, and everyone keeps talking about it, and I have such a backlog. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it eventually. So
my part on Shadow Generations is, and this is coming from someone who didn't think Frontiers was amazing. I think
Frontiers.
Good. I should have played it on PC though.
I think Shadow Generations, like that one single open world hub, clears every other open world in Frontiers. Absolutely. And it's crazy how integrated, like they I knew it. Frontiers was the blueprints. Like they're from here on out, they're like, what worked, what didn't work. Because this one single hub world literally clears all of the other islands in Frontiers, and it's not even funny.
I'm so curious, bro.
I love how Shadow plays. He's actually different than Sonic. Like, it's not just a complete carbon copy. You know, they gave him the actual like projectiles, an actual double jump that Sonic doesn't have in this game. It's just a really good game. Yeah, you're right. Shadow's like the most like the character that gets the most like, oh god, what is it? Yeah, like
an arc.
Absolutely. Brother, the development in this game is so crazy. Also, this is the fact that Shadow Generations is basically just Shadow the Hedgehog 2. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Finally giving Shadow the Hedgehog some justice. Where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald?
I have a little bit of nitpicks, but it's being really nitpicky at this point. Why is there no Shadow the Hedgehog level? That's weird. Also, why did no? It's a sequel in terms of like story, but other than that, like it has no actual level. Yeah, for the uninitiated, it still follows the same basic concept of Sonic Generations, right? It's a white space. You have a level that's based on a previous game. Then you get 2 arcs, like you get 2 acts, right? Now, what is really cool is they actually gave Shadow a 3D act and a 2D act. Instead of it being just like, you know, like sometimes you get modern Sonic, sometimes you get classic Sonic. No. It's still the boost formula through and through, no matter what. So it's really cool in that regard. Yeah, Act 1's always the big 3D level. Act 2 is always the big 2D level. But it's still the boost formula no matter what you do. Then The remix music, oh my god, oh buddy. I never thought I could care for Sonic Forces, but they made me care for Sonic Forces.
They made you care.
Oh.
Bro, I gotta play this game because I got beef with that.
I couldn't believe. So the one level I was like, it's good. The level is great to play through. Why the hell is it here? They give him a Frontiers level. He's not in Frontiers. I don't understand
a crime in
why
itself.
that's there.
They should have put him in that game, but whatever.
Yeah, but okay, sure, but like I understand every other level because he's been in those games. Even Forces with Episode Shadow, he's technically in that game. He's never in Frontiers at all. So why did they give him a Frontiers level? That's so weird to me.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside
That
of
is kinda
like
weird.
outside of like how they displayed levels for like the character, it doesn't make sense. They do acknowledge that. If you just talk to one of the
That's
guys.
funny.
And also, I don't like Radical Highway being the final level. I was like, oh my god.
They were hinting at it a lot
Radical
each and every
Highway.
level. Yeah.
I understand because the Radical Highway is kind of a mix of Wistopolis. So if you want your Shadow the Hedgehog representation, there it is.
Yeah.
But like it's come on. There's so many other cool levels they could have gave Shadow. Like
It's me or Radical Highway.
But no, it's really fun. I have a lot of fun with this. Also, him having the chaos abilities are really cool.
Yeah.
Those are the Doom abilities. Sorry, those are really fun to play with. It's just
Crazy.
This package, man. This is one of the best values, and I never thought I'd be ranking a Sonic game like this. Like, it's so good. This is the best modern, in my opinion. This is the best modern like style Sonic game overall. Like Sonic and Shadow together. Man, what a game. Also, for if you're afraid of the Switch version, don't be. It is 30 frames compared to the others, but like Sonic Generations originally ran at 30, so you're just playing Sonic Generations on the go.
Cool.
Like, think of it that way. Shadow Generations is 30 with very few drops because that is a heavier game. However, PS4 and Xbox One also run Shadow Generations at 30. They can't run it at 60.
No, they can't.
Really?
Yeah. Only PS5 and Series X. Look it up.
My fault. There it is.
Yeah. Only the PS5, and that's if you turn it into performance mode. So Sonic Generations, no matter what, is across the board. Like Switch is 30, everything else 60. But it's Shadow Generations that's the heavier game because it's the new content. That one has to be downscaled for certain consoles. So
interesting.
What I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter where you play it, you're gonna get a good experience no matter what. Oh, I played the Keanu Reeves level. Peak. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. All right.
Peak.
That's all I needed. All right.
Peak.
And then number 5 for Sephie.
Number 5.
All right. Number 5 is a game that I was like, at first, I was like, I'm not really gonna play this because I played not the first game by them, but one of the other ones by them, and I was like, I couldn't really get into it. And then my friend Serena was like, no, you should play this. It's really fun. This is what is going on. I was like, I'll try it. And then I was like, bro, what have they done to me? And that is Honkai Star Rail.
No way.
Fucking love that game. Okay. I was like, I tried Genshin Impact. I did. I couldn't really get into it. It was kind of confusing. And I was like, don't really know if I want to get into this. And then I saw that they released Honkai Star Rail. And I was like, I don't really, that's, whatever. And then Serena was like, no, you should play it. It's really fun. It's turn-based combat. And I was like, oh, cool. She's like, it's a lot easier than Genshin. You should try it at least. I said, okay, I will try it. And I did. And I was obsessed. So Hoyoverse, you got an A+ from me because I love Honkai Star Rail. The characters are cool. I spent real money on this game, okay? Because it is a free-to-play game. Yeah, it is a free-to-play game, It's the whole gacha things like that. I've spent real money on this game, and I've pulled for my 5-star characters, and I have my 5-star characters. It's very nice. But the gameplay is nice. It runs very smoothly on mobile. It runs very smoothly on the computer. I have it for both. Story is pretty cool. You get to choose whether you're the girl character or the boy character, and then you obviously get to name yourself. But all the anime mommy girls, they're very, very cute. Then you have the male characters, but we don't care about them. Just kidding.
Oh, it hurts. What the?
Just kidding.
No, only waifus.
In all seriousness, no, I really do like this game. It's turn-based combat. It moves very smoothly, and of course, you have to think about like, oh, you're this element. You have to fight the enemy that's this element. All of the different characters have their different like specialties and stuff. So it's not very terribly hard. But it is for a free game where you don't have to spend any money. There's so much to do, and it's just so expansive. Which I really liked. There's just a lot to do, a lot of side quests, daily missions, special events and things like that. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, but actually I very much enjoyed it a lot. I haven't played it in like a couple months just because I've been playing other games, but it deserves a spot on the list on top 5 because I was completely obsessed with the game and I spent real money on it. I spent real hard-earned cash on that.
Would you be able to disclose how much money?
It wasn't a lot. I think maybe like
$20
bucks, maybe?
Yeah, $20.
Yeah, $20. Yeah, to get the little things to pull for my characters. I've gotten very lucky with some of my pools as well. So that was really cool. And I very much enjoy Honkai Star Rail. I haven't tried Zenless Zone Zero, but I do want to try it because what do you call it, Toyoverse. But yeah, they get an A+ for me. Honkai Star Rail, hell yeah. That's all I gotta say.
I have all 3 of them on my PlayStation account, like added. I just haven't. I'm so scared.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't really get into Genshin, and I'm thinking about like trying it again because I feel like I didn't give it a fair shot. But I was just like so confused with like the mechanics and like the little artifacts and things like that.
Yeah.
Honkai makes it a little easier to understand, and now I kind of get like, oh, I get it now. So I would like to try it, and obviously tried Zenless Zone Zero. But Honkai, Hoyoverse, you have my heart. That's number 5.
All right, Justin.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Number 4. So, here we go. A favorite franchise of mine, birthed anew in one of its other subgenre of like things that it does for like the series, but with this different twist. You play as a different character instead of the main one. I'm not gonna beat around the bush, ladies and gentlemen. This is Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was like,
I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
It's gonna show up somewhere.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
Come on now.
Don't you get to use the bush in that game?
Yes.
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 You can use a tree too. It's crazy.
So it's been different because obviously this is like immediately off the bandwagon that was Tears of the Kingdom, like probably like my favorite Zelda game like thus far. So it's like what can a top-down isometric Zelda game do for me? And they literally have solved that by essentially, bring in some aspects of Tears of the Kingdom and bring it in the form of just like the tribe mechanics. And I think it does it pretty well. Now, albeit I think this game, as well as Link's Awakening remake, have like some performance issues. Not the craziest things in the world, but it is there and can be kind of a jarring thing. But otherwise, that and like
so it's not just me. I was like, it's
a little bit choppy here and there, especially when you're in the big overworld stuff and not inside. But that on top of like the return of the dungeons here do not seem like they're not crazy lengthy. I think they're just right as far as like getting the point across of exploration, utilizing different abilities, selecting the abilities. That's a problem for sure. Especially when if you need a very particular type of like, essentially when you need like something that you've used like long ago and you have to kind of like sift through every single one of those. It's a bit tough on that front, but there is a sense of exploration like early on, or at least rather you can just explore wherever you want. But what I really like about this game is the fact that it kind of like has a stronger story like added into it. It's nothing like crazy or deep, but it is showing the fact that Zelda has such an influence on the world here, and it's a progressive story. It links. It has a lot of stuff regarding Link, and there's a whole new lore for that character too. So
that's cool.
It's just cool that obviously the other isometric Zelda games had a story within themselves. I feel like this is like the most engaging as far as like, okay, there's a bit of mystery behind it. Let's see if we can continue to unravel that as we play through it. And the fact that they just treat Zelda as a character, like as far as the development of it, it's nothing crazy where it's like, oh, you're playing as Zelda instead of Link. What's going on? Like obviously the initial reactions were like that, but then like in this game, it's like they just stick to it.
Play as Zelda,
Like they don't like beat around bush. There's nothing crazy or inhibiting about it.
Yep.
They ease into it naturally.
Yeah. So
good.
It's super solid for that.
Hell
Number 4, Echoes of Wisdom.
Number 4. All right, Aniyah.
Number 4.
Man, you know what? I really had an interesting time with this game. I have like this thing where I'll go on like a little hunt as far as like indie games that look like super interesting to me. And this is like one of those. Like I think all the games that I caught like wind of, I saw like a video or like some random like TikTok short or something like that. Some short or something. This game, I just saw a picture and I was like, oh. You know what? Let's give it a shot.
Is it Epic Mickey rebrush?
Get the
that
new modern release Epic Mickey, like
that's a real game. Stop. That actually came out this year. I just didn't want to pay 60 for it. Continue.
This new debut game actually came out this year, and it is called Haunty.
Oh, Haunty.
Haunty at number 4. Haunty at number 4 was interesting. I was not expecting like any kind of mechanic. First of all, big mechanic. It's Super Mario Odyssey. The possession ability, and using the ability of the things you possess, it just makes sense because like, oh, you're a ghost, or you get to possess things in the effect of using it around you to solve puzzles. First of all, I saw the art book to this game. They had like their concepts and everything, but then mentioning that like they draw them out, so every frame is hand drawn. Everybody just adds on to like this really like notebook ink pen style. Like when you're looking at it, it looks like I don't know if you guys know about this. This is like a lot of trends that artists would do. It would be called Inktober, where the whole month of October they just draw on an ink pen of like usually traditional. I don't know if there's people they'll probably like draw it traditionally on notebook, but then like color it digitally. But for that whole month, that's what this game just looks like. It looks like a ink notepad, and it has like a very like monochromatic with like some splashes of color because you're a ghost. You're I want to shock you, but you're kind of dead. So you have like this.
Are you serious?
You have like this somber like story going on, and
you spoiled it.
Yeah, like it's this character is trying to sort out like what happened and just try to just ascend after. And you find other characters who usually like don't want to because it's kind of like, you know, it's a scary thing. Like, what's after death? So there's some people kind of just like linger in whatever this like space of like, you know, dimension that everybody exists in. It's a twin stick shooter in terms of like how you possess things. So you use it to fight, but then you also use it to like just go in and like possess objects. And you don't know what you're able to possess until you just go and try to shoot it. So that's pretty cool. The music in this game, man, like when it comes to like all the games I've been looking at that's been heading up from like even up from 7, like the themes are super solid. Like number 6 for Wukong, like of course it fits the theme of a Souls-like, but then also it makes sense because the grand story of Journey to the West is like a crazy story. Your character is just like this crazy shape-shifting monkey god, right? That's crazy stuff. So thematically, there's gonna be fantastical stuff in there. When it comes to the theme of this game, there's story beats of like very like emotional parts of the character. Like do I want to know who I am? Like, do I want to even ascend? Like, who knows whatever happens? But you only get that from other people who try to stop you, who are usually like enemies who are saying like, why would you want to like, you know, why would you want to go up there and like hone in with the enemy, which is like this angel looking character? And it's like they're fighting against the fact that like the fear of ascending is usually what keeps people like holding on to like these like very sad emotions and usually keeps them grieving. But the more you see like some of the memories of the character, you're like, oh, why would you want to grieve all the stuff that you had like a very good time in? Like, you know, all things come to an end, good or bad. But you see that this person relatively had like a very nice experience while they were alive still. So like that's what this angel tries to do for you, which is kind of crazy because there's another angel who looks like, you know, Evangelion tries to kill you. But other than that, it's pretty good. So I really like how this game like illustrated the themes. And it's simple. There's like so many words you read, but like when you're seeing the cutscenes, bro, this art direction, God, level design is good too. Solid. Like as a game itself,
solid.
It's shooting like one of the enemies has like a firework gun, and he had like the biggest grin on his face. So I'm just like, like, you can't ain't nobody saying nothing now. Hey, man, and stuff like that. So yeah, I recommend this game.
All right.
Okay.
It was super good.
All right, Phil. Number 4.
Number 4.
Is one of my favorite experiences this year. I will always pick this up just because it's this franchise, and I literally won't miss one. But I never expected it to be a top 5 in this franchise for me. That's hard because I have a lot of nostalgia for the rest of it. Playing this year and it being this fun and this solid, I was like, no way. And I'm also just upset that you two have it on honorable mentions because Super Mario Party Jamboree is freaking amazing.
What? Oh, I know I have to get this game.
I can't believe you two because I literally cannot believe Super Mario Party Jamboree is that good. It is the best Mario Party on Switch, bar none. And that comes down to a lot of things. It's got some of the best mix of mini games. Some old. It's like the best of both worlds. Some old, some new. Mostly new. It's very, very sparsely like some old stuff. But even the boards, there's only 2 retro boards, and the other 5 are brand new, well-designed boards. Some are better than others, of course. I think the Rainbow Galleria board is incredible. That mall is so much fun.
That's also fair, yeah.
That is such a fun board.
Crazy.
The mall is so cool.
Bro, I have to get this game. I have to.
Multi-tiered, like, designed board. Like, I was like, what the? Crazy.
That's sick.
It's such a good game. And they did such a really good job with, like, making it fun. This is how Mario Party should be. Like, this is a top 5 for me. I don't know if it's top 3. That's really hard. 5. You know, we played every single between us 3, excluding Sephie here, we played every single mainline Mario Party this year.
That's right, you did.
Yeah.
And so, like, I kind of have a good gist of like which one's better than the others. This is up there. Jamboree, they did a really good job. My only nitpick is the progression system, like how you unlock things. Why is it tied to the achievements? I don't care about doing that. But yeah, I don't really care about that. I need to get to level 50. Every achievement gets you 1 level higher. So you have to get to 50 achievements out of like 80 or something like that to beat the game. But I'll get there when I get there. I have all the boards unlocked. I have the things that I want to make this fun. I need to try out Pro Mode because Pro Mode sounds awesome. Pro Mode sounds like a really fun time. It actually like makes it to where it's like a professionally like a hardcore match of Mario Party where like there are limits and rules set in place. So I want to play that. It's really good. They did a really good job, and like kudos to what is now they're called Nintendo Cube.
Oh, really?
They finally got Mario Party down after all these years. I get it. They still have their merits. They were fun, but 9 and 10 or whatever. Super Mario Party is a step in the right direction.
Yep.
Superstars was amazing, but it's all nostalgia bait.
Yep.
This is like the perfect actual next Mario Party. I love it. The mini games are solid. There's still motion control mini games, so you can still play with the Joy-Con sideways. You don't even have to. You can turn those off. There's only like 15 of them, so you can just turn it off and just play with normal controls if that's the setup.
Hell yes. Okay, I'm gonna get it. I am gonna get it. I really love Mario Party, so I gotta get it.
It's on the list. Really good. I haven't played. Then this is all based off the fact that I haven't even played the single player stuff yet. I have played some of the other modes. They're pretty fun little diversions, but really the main bread and butter and why it's number 4 is the main Mario Party mode. All right, Justin, this is it.
Oh.
Top 3.
Wait,
hold on. Don't skip Sephie.
Hey,
you just skipped me.
You don't need
Yo.
He really kept that part. We said excluding Sephie.
Damn, that Mario Party crap is gonna come in like full ascent next time.
No, I'm just kidding. Sephie, go for it.
This. Okay. All right. My number 4, we actually just beat it yesterday. So it's got a lot of recency bias. And we had played it previously, but we just never finished it. It's a little bit of an older game, not super old, but an older game. It is the God of War 2018 game. Yes. So we did play it when it came out originally on PS4, and then we never finished it for some whatever reason. And then recently Frank was playing through it again, so we could play the second one, Ragnarok. So I did hop in about halfway through, but I remember the story and everything like that. Again, I love mythology. I love shit like that. It's so cool. So I did enjoy the Norse mythology with, the Kratos and everything and Atreus and stuff. I think the gameplay is really cool. The AI for Atreus is really good, actually.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get in the way, and he's definitely very helpful during battle. All the characters are cool. The two dwarves, Brock and Sindri, love those guys.
Brock and Sindri so
They're
cool.
so funny.
So it's a great inclusion.
Mimir is cool. You get the little lore and stuff as you go along. You get the stories from Mimir. The world snake is awesome. I love that. I love him so much.
Yeah.
He is baby, a very large baby. He is baby.
That's not how I would describe him, but okay.
Relax.
But watching Frank play was really cool because all the cool combos you can do, the different the different power ups you can get, the side quests are cool. The fact that you can unlock the optional realms like Muspelheim and Niflheim, you get to go and do the optional quests there. Like I think it's a very cool game. Because I'm a sucker for mythology and stuff like that. The ending was very touching and heartfelt. Did not like the fact that they made Atreus Loki. Okay, that is the only gripe I had with the game, because the whole time I was like, okay, you don't see Thor either, so I assume in the next one you would see Thor and Loki and Odin and all that. But so I was like, man, can't wait till we get Loki, right? Then comes to the end of the game. And I'm like, okay, cool. We got the end of the game. We got to spread our mom's ashes. It was very nice, very sweet. And then they drop the bomb on you. And I'm like, no.
A sword.
So that was the only gripe I had with it. I was like, damn it. It's him, the little kid, the little snot-nosed brat. The little snot-nosed brat. No, hold on. I love Atreus. Yeah, I love Atreus. He did crash out a little bit after he found out he was a god. He was crashing out, man. He was going crazy. I was like, this is not happening. But yes, I very much enjoyed this game, and I'm really excited to go into the next one. We haven't played it yet, so I am really excited.
Ragnarok. Yeah, if you like this, wait till you play Ragnarok.
I know, so I am really excited to experience the story. But yeah, I'm finally really happy we got to finish God of War 2018. Great. Very, very good game.
Yeah, it's such a good game.
Now, Justin, top three.
This is where it's gonna get.
There was no doubt, when this game came out this year, that it was going to be on my top listings, considering even before I even played it, there was a lot of accolades from the company who developed previous games with it. It's called Unicorn Overlord.
I knew it.
The weirdest name for this game, but you know what? They hold on to it. It's from Vanillaware. It's with Atlas. They knocked out of the park with this one.
Vanillaware don't miss.
It has a very unique art style to it. Love it. The presentation's super solid. Music's really good. It's one of those games. It is a tactical RPG genre, where one of the biggest pulls for it is the fact that you are assembling different teams. You're upgrading those teams. You're focusing on leveling different units and whatnot. And they're pretty forgiving on leveling up smaller units to catch up with everybody. But the fact that it is it's not it is a real-time strategy game, but it does have a pause menu as far as slowing down time, so you can actually methodically think about all the different moves. But otherwise, once you set everyone to play, then it's just going to be a real-time strategy game where you're taking units out there and you're having to match them up with different units, and there's a whole mechanic of devising one unit comprised of 3 to 5 other individual pieces, all with unique different class sets, and how can they synergize with each other to run out the outcome of one skirmish. It's a lot to consider, and I really like that aspect of building out your characters, adding accessories to them, but also finding different classes that work with each other, because they all have unique strengths to them, and they tell you every single time what works, what doesn't work, and where are the strengths. And it's just all up to you to kind of figure things out. And that's not even talking about the exploration of the world. I just like how the world is laid out to you. It pretty much is overworld stuff where you can just walk and interact with things, and there's some light bit of combat in the midst of that, but otherwise there is just exploration, then skirmishes. The story is totally serviceable. And I guess that's pretty much everything. it's just like super good, all one package type of thing. It's a standalone like title. You can totally just try it out. It's available on different platforms. Switch runs perfectly well. So yeah, 100% like just jive with this game, Unicorn Overlord.
Very nice.
I need to play
Okay.
it. You give it so much praise every time you talk about it. I see the glow in your face, and I'm like, man, I need to play it. It looks so good. I love Vanillaware games, and so like I'm just like, I'd eventually. It's an eventuality, not like a if. Like,
yeah, it's just eventually you're gonna get to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to, because honestly, I kept thinking of every time you said Unicorn Overlord. I swear to God, there was a game from Adult Swim that had unicorn in it, and I kept thinking of that.
Oh yeah, unicorn. Yeah. Oh my God, I used to play it all the time.
Like the arcadey game. You just shoot with a unicorn. I was like, man, unicorn. Just throw that in the title, and you got a banger. That's pretty.
I guess so.
Aniyah, number 3.
Number 3.
I want to see how y'all feel. I want to see how y'all feel about this. This is
let's say what?
Top 3. You probably be like, will this be top 2? Nah, it's top 3. High up there. It's a really good game, highly regarded, and there's a lot of people who spoke for it. A lot of people this year, because it was so regarded that it was the game of the year. Astrobot is at number 3.
Number 3, huh?
Freaking number 3.
Astrobot sweep.
Astro
yeah,
sweep.
That the sweeping. Nah, this game is solid, bro. Like, hold on. Okay, of course, homage to all the. There's some games I didn't know as far as like Sony, PlayStation, and all the staples from it. Like, but it makes me want to go and explore it because I had an attachment to this console for like, bro, like even PlayStation 1, playing like, what was it, SS Tricky and all those funny little sports games, the snowboarding things. I did play Crash on the PlayStation, but it wasn't like a staple for me because I didn't play it that long. But I remember, like, it's hard to forget those iconic levels and all those characters that came up with it. Now that we got into the PS5 and what they're trying to do as far as like, you know, new IPs and mascots to hone in for, it's a baby. Hold on, it like fully encompassed everything PlayStation from day 0 to now, while showing off the big aspects and gimmicks of the console itself. Like the DualSense, like took every advantage they could to like showcase that in a fun way, down to like some of the motion stuff you do with the controller itself. Like some of them might not like work with you, like just the upgrades with like, I think it's like the monkey climbing thing with the motion controls.
Oh yeah.
Some people may like not enjoy that as much. It's whatever. Where you have like actual resistance, like with the triggers, like there's some actual give. Like you feel like you actually have to like give some pressure to pull on the R2 and L2. Super cool. As far as like haptic, it was just like it's cool to know that all that history just bundled up and it came into a game that was super fun. It didn't have to be a game that was like taking itself too seriously. It just made sure to know that like we acknowledge that. I mean, look, Sony can, you know, step your game up, but like it was just a point of like at least acknowledging like what they gave us before all the weird transitions as far as like, you know, the Team Asobi, which are like, they were products of Team Japan. And it's like the games they gave us, like, well, that's tough that they had to let go of that studio, but at least there's still like remnants of them around. The fact that that creative team is still able to like crank this stuff out, gosh. So I'm like, bro, this game really deserved it. I kind of figured, I was like, when I was playing, I was like, this feels like some Game of the Year material. You know, lo and behold.
I'm going to have to borrow my roommate's PS5 because everyone keeps talking about Astrobot. And I'm like, damn, I got to play this.
You're going to love the design. You're going to love the abilities that they give everybody. You do have like a set ability. Like it's not like you can run into like 2 different power-ups. As far as I remember, I don't think so. Level design is clever. Like the game is pretty. The game is super pretty. And the music's nice too. The music's good in this game. Like, damn. Who's cranking that out? Who's your composer? Like, you got to give them the flowers. That shit was nice. But honestly, deserved Goaty of the Year. It's pretty good. I don't know what an Elden Tree is, but it's not Astrobot. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm good.
No way you said that out loud.
Astro's Year.
Who said Elden Tree is crazy?
Elden Bark. We don't care.
Elden Bark.
We don't care.
That's crazy. I just picked up Erdtree as well. Is it my number 3 time? Oh,
okay.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3.
Number 3.
So, full disclosure, this is my last Switch game on this list. My top 2 games are not Switch games. I know.
Crazy. Who are you?
Obviously, I am a Nintendo fan. That's through and through. So I'm gonna pick up a lot of first-party Nintendo releases, and most of my gaming's done on it. But if I'm being honest, it's not like they had anything crazy groundbreaking this year.
That's true. That's true.
We really are in a transitional period where most of the games are ports, remakes, remasters, and they're just basically getting us through until we get the Switch 2, which is fine. That's great because this is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm just so glad that I get to play it on a modern platform. I'm just glad that everybody now gets to experience it because it's been so long and it's been inaccessible for so many years, and I love it to death. I'm so happy that I can play it on a modern platform. That's really all it is. And my favorite Switch game this year is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door.
Yes, bro. Let's
go. Number 3.
Number 3. I hate you. Number 3. This is my third favorite GameCube game. It's right behind Wind Waker and Metroid Prime, and I already got Metroid Prime on the Switch. So I'm literally I need Wind Waker, and I'll have my 3 favorite GameCube games of all time. But
I need it.
But
they're joking with us. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're messing with us hardcore. But let's get that notion out of the way. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is the best Paper Mario game. There's a reason why it is, right? Like, it's just the characters are charming. The world's so fun to just walk around. My God, the music, the full orchestrated versions of all the songs, they literally like make me like cry. They're so good. Rogueport in particular. Oh my God, it's so good. You mentioned the
dynamics of the battle.
The dynamics, yeah,
each world has something different.
That's actually something from Origami King, so it's really cool that they put it into this. I also think this is kind of a testing ground. I would think this is Intelligent Systems wants to know if this is the kind of Paper Mario we want. And considering it sold more than 4 million copies,
absolutely.
Paper Mario fans have been saying that's what we've wanted for years now.
This is what we want.
This is what we want. Like, that's all we care about.
Here's the thing: you're coming from someone who actually really loves Super Paper Mario and Origami King. I love those games.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Super Paper Mario and Origami King. I think Origami King was a step in the right direction.
Yeah, but none of that holds a candle to Paper Mario on N64 and this bad boy, Thousand Year Door.
Oh my God, yes.
I love everything about this game. For me, there's nothing wrong. Would I have liked 60 frames? Sure. It is the original game, and I wanted it to be as original as possible, but it is a full-blown remake. They did everything they can to make this game look gorgeous, and I think it looks great no matter where you play it, on handheld or on TV. It just looks so good. And yeah, I'm just glad that everybody gets to actually experience this game and not have to go out of the way to pay $200 for a copy, because that's how much the original game is fetching for. It's like in the hundreds, and it's disgusting. So I'm just glad everybody can actually experience this game now. We've been getting nothing but remakes, remasters, ports all year for Switch for the most part. And I love it. Just keep it coming. I want more legacy Nintendo content on the Switch/Switch 2, especially because it's backwards compatible. Especially because we can keep playing this on the next console. I love it. And it's literally one of my favorite Mario RPGs of all time.
Hell
really,
yeah.
It made me cry. It made me like everything. Like every emotion ran through me when I was playing it again.
Anger.
Yes.
Yeah. Some parts.
Sometimes.
Stephie's like, yes.
Yes on everything.
Y'all,
all the above.
Honestly, you already know my number 1 and 2 are, so let's just do number 3 right now. My number 3 game, for all the gripes that I had about playing it, overall, this game was really good. And I can see why this is like one of people's like top games or whatever. And I never thought I would ever play this series. And if the team does the other games, I'll be really intrigued to play those. My number 3 is the Silent Hill 2 remake.
No.
Okay.
Stephie, I just picked that up. Like,
oh my God,
I just bought that.
It's so good. So when they announced that they were doing the remake, okay, so I had always, you have Resident Evil and you have Silent Hill. I've never played the Silent Hill series ever. I've experienced Resident Evil, love Resident Evil series, really good.
So this is your first Silent Hill period?
Yeah, this is my first Silent Hill period.
Dang.
So we picked up the game, and Frank is like, hey, we're going to play it. Bro, this game is scary, okay? I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life playing a game.
They nasty. There's nastiness going on.
Yeah, it is. Okay, just from the get-go, like the beginning, it's like, yeah, it's kind of spooky. Once you get to the apartments and you get to the other world, it's just nonstop. Like, it just doesn't stop. Like, I had anxiety the entire game. And I'd have never felt this way about playing like a scary game. Because you have games that like you have the scary parts, and then you have the calm parts where you feel pretty good, and you have the scary parts. No, this one was just calm at the beginning, and then it was just nonstop, like scary the whole time. But the story was really good. I liked the characters. They all had their own, problems and everything.
Or James. Yeah, it's a Silent. So I haven't played the remake. Obviously, what I'm going to talk about is based on the original PS2 game. Because I think, as much as I love Resident Evil and I love a bunch of horror games, just like you, Silent Hill 1 and 2 in particular, clear house. Like, they are literally some of the scariest games ever. And that's not because the game is ready to jump scare you at any moment. No, it's all psychological. It is the world building around you. It is the crazy noises that the game will make with you. Because nothing might not jump at you. But it's the idea that something could.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy, like playing the game, and then you hear, it's like the ambiance, like you hear like noises and stuff, and it's like, bro, what the hell was that? And then it's like it plays with your mind. So it took us forever to beat the game because I had to take breaks. I couldn't do it, and we were playing like at night with all the lights off. I was like, I can't do it. Like, it was scary. And then like, yeah, you had some jump scares and stuff like that. And it was at the point where I was like, the rest of the game, I was like, I'm just going to pretend like every room we go into, there's going to be a jump scare. And it helped because some of the stuff I was like, saw that coming because I was prepared for it. But yeah, it was very, very good. The team that redid it, congratulations, bro, because this game was scary.
So it's actually funny you mentioned this because like the team who did it is actually notoriously like a mid team that makes horror games.
Yes, I've read about that.
Yeah, it's Team Bloober. They're the ones who did the Blair Witch game recently.
Was okay.
And they did the Layers of Fear series. Like,
I actually really like that series though.
Yeah, it's an alright series.
Okay.
But like, they're notoriously like okay at games. No, this is their first like real like. Good job, you did it.
No, everything was so very well done. Performance was good. All the performers were good. James, the guy who played James, top notch. He knocked it out of the park. The whole story in itself, and then finding out at the end what really happened, I was like, oh man.
Question, Sephie, since you've beaten it, which ending did you get?
I got the leave ending, so we did actually get the best ending.
Okay,
I guess that's what people
have you attempted to get the secret ending?
No, but we did watch because Frank did say that there were other endings, funny. So we did watch the other endings, and I was like, "Bro, what the?"
The secret ending is hilarious.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Like, that whole atmosphere and just everything they put into it. Like I said, the whole time, this game took years off of my life because of how scary it was. So
I'm just glad to see Silent Hill back, man.
Yeah,
it's been so long.
It definitely deserves its flowers, and that's why it's top 3 because it was very, very well done. And I've never felt like this playing a scary game ever.
It does play like modern Resident Evil. It's behind the view. So like, if you can get down with that,
then yeah.
But I will say that I just really love Silent Hill 2. It's the original game for me is like one of the top 10 like PS2 games of all time. Like it is. Yeah, that game messes with you. It's got a crazy story. Like it's the world building. Like it's really everything around like what's going on. It's not even the actual things in front of you that are coming at you. It's like what could possibly be coming because it's in your head.
Yeah, they really did a good job. It's amazing.
Justin, number two.
Number two. These are going to be obvious ones, but I do want to give them the flowers regardless. We already know about this one. It's won like nominees like in previous years for its different iterations, and it was a really tough one for me to kind of juggle between this one and number 1 because they are two different genres, and I love both of them. And it was just purely off of my engagement like overall. And regardless, it deserves a standing. Ladies and gentlemen, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth got the deluxe edition right. It's it's so polished. And they still got ways to go.
That's not your number one. I had bets that was your number one.
Oh, you better pay up right now.
I had a feeling what everyone's number one was gonna be, and now I'm like, well, okay, Aniah's is way too obvious, but like I am like all over.
It's not that guy,
now.
but I love him.
Continue. Now I'm curious. Continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is funny.
So essentially, Rebirth pretty much takes the remake like engine mechanics and just refines them to something that's near perfection. Like honestly, it's almost hard to even figure out like what else are they missing at this point, unless you really deep dive into the mechanics. A lot of the big things about this game, aside from just being like standard RPG like stuff, is just the synergy between characters. They really refined it this time around. They made everything into like more of an open zone instead of like a linear thing in remake, which I think can be argued as like good or bad. Personally, I just like the exploration in this one. I understand that there's some performance issues with Rebirth on PlayStation, you know, previous to like PlayStation 5 Pro's like patch up with that. But otherwise, I never really had any issues. The fact that I could play 60 frames was a nice thing. And there's just a lot of cool stuff. The only downside of this is that it's not a finished story. That's really almost everything about it. Also, the thing with Era, that's also like another bad thing about it, but it's part of the story. It's part of the story. They add a couple of like extra like side bits here and there, which they're totally optional. You don't have to do it. And honestly, if you just want to care for the story, you can just get past those. They add like an extra bit of fluff here and there, padding, if you will. But you don't have to like engage on that one. And I chose to do so. And I feel like it kind of like weaves all the characters a little bit more so. It makes it a little bit stronger, especially with the ending as it is. But it also does a really interesting thing as a confirmed sequel to all the Final Fantasy VII stuff, all of it. So it kind of keeps you in suspense, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do the final part. But I will say this is probably going to be as open as like it's going to be for this trilogy.
Dang.
Yeah.
What about my boy Chadley? Yeah, you even spoken on my favorite character in the series, Chadley.
You can die.
What? Hey, I mean, he said that.
Bro, I don't really care about Chadley. That guy's an idiot. Like, next.
Don't disrespect my man Chadley, all right?
Oh my god. Aniyah, number 2 before she keeps talking about Chadley.
Man!
Damn. Yeah, go ahead.
Can't stand it.
Let us defy number 2 together.
This is what just to lay it out. This would have been number 1 if the number 1 spot.
No, it wouldn't have.
If number 1
let finish.
wasn't at the, you need to understand. No, you need to understand how a high regard I have for this game. If number 1 wasn't number 1, number 2 would be number 1. So
okay.
And again, I just found this game off of chance. I just saw like a TikTok video of it. I was like,
TikTok strikes again.
Hey, little fire. So I was just thinking,
a little fire.
Yeah, I just gotta wait until it releases, and then I'll see how I feel about it. Because how else can you sell me on a game with hand-drawn animation and it being a Metroidvania? Like, how else do you sell me on that? And the biggest comparison that this thing has been compared to was Hollow Knight.
Oh, okay.
I think I might like this more than Hollow Knight.
Whoa.
This game's bro.
Silk Song has something to say about that.
I will
when it comes out.
This game. I will be playing this game. No, you know what? We don't talk about Silk Song, but I think I'm gonna play this game like at least 5 more times. That's how much I enjoy playing it. Because there's more there's multiple endings, and I think there's only 3. I just play the other 2 because I like playing this game. This game came out this year. A few months ago. Oh, bro. But this game. 9 souls.
9 souls.
I was 9 souls.
Guys, this game. First of all, this game is like out the bat. It's like warning, graphic content. I'm like, how graphic we talking? And then like this dude with half his face gone. I was like, oh, okay, that I can deal with that. But like, I was just thinking, this game, like it already looking at this picture itself. First of all, the color choices in this game. I don't know who the artist is. Now I gotta find them because I just like. I'll give you money. Like this. I'll
give you money.
Whoa!
I'll pay you.
That's the tone. The tone is already like obvious of what you could possibly get into, but not the full extent. You can get like some ideas of where it could go, but it gives you an idea of like what they're trying to like prepare you for. First of all, the music's nice. I got this game like what the deluxe edition or something. I got something with a soundtrack. I was like, I'm doing everything I can to like give this full support. So you play this game. The main character is like on the edge of a cliff. Half his face gone. He's all jacked up, and you got it's a betrayal thing. It's like V for Vendetta, Count of Monte Cristo, whatever the like vengeance thing you got going on. You supposedly die in the beginning, but like these vines or like these, it's like primordial vines. There's something in that regard. They help you like maintain like living, and they end up being like a hub base of you like going back and forth, like saving the game, all the nonsense that keeps you going while you're also dealing with like astral projections of other things going on with like who betrayed you and like what the ultimate goal was. Thing was, you're like a highly regarded warrior, but also like he's like a scientist or something. Like he's using things to help like the race move to like another planet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like trying to get by, like doing all these things to keep them like sustained, but then also finding out and being like they already knew, but there's like humans. They're like human types, but they're called like something else in this game. Harvested for like whatever scientific project that's going on with it. First of all, I was not expecting that. Just looking at this dude's face, I thought I was gonna be beating people up. But like on top of that, you got like this interesting part of the story because like he's conflicted with all these other things that he had to do. And what he's done, to, like how he ended up where he was at. So like all these bits and memories of like he has a sister and his family was like beefing with him because he's trying to do things that's against the traditional way. Crazy stuff. Interesting story. I was like, bro, that's crazy. And then on top of it, the game mechanics. If you've ever played Hollow Knight, crank that hoe up. Crank that hoe up. That's how more like this. Like just turn up. Turn up. You left the stove. You left the stove on medium. I need you to go high. Like that's where I feel like with this game, because like you get so many add-ons to like your abilities. You get to go and do some of the craziest combos, and the engagement with the enemies, it's annoyingly tough. Well, I like challenges because it's like Souls-like, because you go back, you die a lot, blah blah, trial and error. But like it's still fun as long as the combat's fun, and it's like you can see your way like actually achieving and like overcoming that challenge in the game. That is like that right there, bro. Like that's all I need with games. Like if I can get challenges and it's just fun, and the music. Man, what are you doing here, dog? What are you doing here? Why wasn't this mentioned at the Game Awards? I was just thinking like the fact that this nothing, like no kind of buzz. I was like, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
This game. But it would be number one. I promise you it would be number one.
Okay.
I knew of the game. It looks really cool. You sold me on it a lot, like now more than ever. And I am waiting till next year because again, Fangamer already announced they're doing a physical copy of it. So I am I'm in.
Oh yeah.
As you were talking, I just assigned myself up to get notified of the physical copy. I'm just like, hey, let me just.
Yeah, dude. Fangamer's indie physical lineup next year is crazy. Little Kitty Big City, Anton Blast, freaking Pizza Tower. They're doing Crow Country, which Crow County. Sorry, that game was crazy.
Yeah, that game was kind of cool. Frank was playing that.
9 Souls. Like I'm in, dude. Like.
Nah, but I need what's the empty my wallet edition? Like whatever they get that's the most expensive, I'm buying it.
Hey, yo, relax. The empty my wallet edition.
Give me an art book, give me a vinyl, give me a sticker book. I don't care. This game is so good.
Give me a fridge magnet.
Yeah, give me a fridge magnet right there. Like I'll put it on my fridge. But like I just need it. Cause
nice.
Is there any point like you guys see a hand-drawn video game, Metroidvania especially, just be like, just shoot me a link. Just anytime you see something like it, I'm on it. Because Hollow Knight sparked it. This solidified it. This is better than Hollow Knight to me.
Ooh.
So it's like
crazy.
Okay. I don't know what's the Silk song? What's the song? Cry Me a River? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, dog. Damn. Nine Souls.
Okay.
But I'm done. That was number 2.
Phil, you're number 2.
All right, my number 2 is admittingly a game I have not finished. I want to finish it because I love it so damn much. It's just a time consumer, especially on my part right now. Hopefully, I'm planning to finish it next week. I am a fan of the original game through and through. I've always been a fan. One of my favorite like RPGs. It's not my favorite in the series overall, but like it's one of my favorite RPGs ever. And I just love the characters, the music. Oh my god, the music. Remember how I said like Stellar Blade would have been top 3 soundtracks? This is probably number 1 if I had to base it on music. And I really thought this was going to be my game of the year when I was playing it until something else came out and beat it, in my opinion. But my number 2 will shock absolutely no one because it's also Justin's number 2. It's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah. The music, bro, in that game.
It's because it has
so
the stamp
good.
song.
It's got the doggy song. You're right. You're right.
Bro.
No, I just like, here's the thing. I knew this was going to be a banger because I love Remake. Remake was my game of the year 2020. Personally, I already, once they told me, oh, the first game's only based in Midgard, and I was like, oh, Hallway Central, got it. That's how it is in the original. I have no problem with it. It's when you step outside of Midgard is when it becomes a real Final Fantasy game. In the original, that's exactly what happened here. It is open world to a T. I love just roaming around, doing everything. I know Justin was like, you don't got to do the side quest. Nah, it's fun. It's just like really cool to see all the like new like content being added. It's just a really good game, man. They did so good with this. I do kind of know the ending, unfortunately, but I will say that I'm interested to see how they're going to wrap it all up in the third part. I'm halfway through. I'm going to try to beat it. I want to beat this.
Shout out to Queen's Blood. Shout out to Queen's Blood.
I will say, now that you bring it up, it's a little mini game heavy. I mean that in like either a good and bad way. It just depends. Queen's Blood is like whatever, I guess.
How dare you?
I don't really care. They're fun little diversions, but definitely like not my favorite parts of the game. The mini games or whatever, especially Costa del Sol and Golden Saucer with having all those mini games. Holy crap, that's a mini game central, baby. It might as well be Mario Party.
I'm a sucker for those.
Chocobo Racing.
I love Chocobos.
Chocobo Racing. Oh my god.
Was also one of my favorites in the original, so I get it. I loved it. But like, man, is it minigame heavy? I knew it was gonna be like that too. Because again, in the original 7, this part of the game, it's all minigame central too. So I get it. No, I love it. I love it to death. The visuals are outstanding. I'm playing it in quality mode, which is something I don't normally do on PS5. Like I like to have my frame rates. Yeah,
you do performance. Yeah,
but for me, performance mode just wasn't up to snuff. It's like Final Fantasy 16 for me. I also played it in quality mode, and it's very cinematic. So you know, but yes, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, I love it,
baby.
Keep it coming. Let me finish this trilogy strong. But Justin does have a point. I wonder if part 3 is going to be hallway heavy as well. Because realistically, in the original game, you are out of the open world areas. Done. You're done.
Yeah,
where I know. Yeah, we're gonna see how people take part 3 for sure.
Yeah, you might be looking at the highest rated of the 3 right now, and 3 which is kind of in between.
Most highly regarded one. I will say I am excited to play as Vincent and Sid in part 3.
Ooh, yeah.
Vincent, my beloved.
I'm excited to see how they turn out for new characters and whatnot. But yeah,
number 2,
nice,
Sephie.
Okay,
number 2.
My number 2, you guys have probably already guessed because it hasn't come up yet for me, but it has come up for both Justin and Phil. But my number 2, just going to get into it, is, and admittedly, I'm also not done with this, but it is Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Okay, when they announced that they were going to do that and you get to play Zelda, I was so excited because I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to play Zelda. But what can I say that hasn't already been said about the game? The graphics are really nice. I do like the top-down, 2D type Zelda thing. I like Justin said earlier, I really enjoy the fact that you're Zelda as a character. They don't make a big like fanfare or deal about it. Like, oh my god, you're playing as Zelda. It's just like, yeah, you go and you play as Zelda. She's got different mechanics from Link. She is magic users. She's very magic heavy. I do really like using all the echoes, trying to figure out like what's the best way to get to this area. What's the best enemy to fight against these other enemies, So I really like having to like kind of think about it. Like what's the best option to do like this? I will say there are a lot of echoes, so I do forget about them from time to time. So I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that I have this one that could do this, And I don't like the sorting of the echoes because it's like I don't like I have to go and scroll all the way to find the one that I use like once or twice. Like it's good that you can sort them by like the most recent or like most used. Like that's cool, but it kind of like doesn't work when you have to like go find one that I don't ever use for this like specific part. So that's one of my only gripes about it. But I do like the gameplay a lot. The performance does drop here and there, but it's not the end of the world. I do like the open area. You can essentially go wherever. Very much enjoying my time. Like I said, I haven't finished it yet, but what I have played, I feel like I've played enough that I'm like, yeah, this is definitely gonna be one of my favorite games. Like
Nice.
this is a Sephie game for sure. It's not terribly difficult either. I do like the dungeons. They're not super hard, but it does kind of make you think a little bit. You kind of have to put a little effort. Yeah, this is one of the top games of the year for me. Definitely.
Sephie, fight a Lionel in that game.
What?
Fight! Go find a Lionel and try to get it as an echo. Then you'll be in for a real.
No, please, no.
Yo, that was like one of the first things I did.
that might as well be the secret boss, to be honest with you.
It's rough, but it's also one of those things where it will always target the enemy that you spawn. So you're kind of, as long as you're like far away, you're good.
Yeah, that's what I like too. I do also like the fact that you can technically fight if you do the sword, you know.
Oh yeah.
Or you just spawn a rock and you just like
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I could do that too.
Love doing
but
that.
I'm very much
water block is king.
Oh,
like, that
yeah,
is
water
my
block is OP.
water block.
It's
go
OP.
to echo, and I never look back. Like
honestly, yeah. Once I got that, I was like, "This isn't what I'm using."
Yep,
it is so OP.
On the flying tile, helps.
Sometimes I found some uses, but I think water tile, like water block, my god, you can break so many things.
Yeah,
water block. I was like, "Bro, this is a game changer for sure." I'm very much enjoying it. So I was like, I also like the fact that I would consider this like a kids type game, you know.
Sure.
But I think at the beginning they're like, yeah, we're gonna kill Zelda. We're gonna kill her. We want to execute her. And I was like, bro, huh? Like,
oh yeah.
They're just straight up. We're like, we're going to.
They're
kill
like
her.
Straight up Queen of Hearts, off with your head. Like I was like,
whoa,
hey,
relax. I was like, oh my god, okay, all right. Well, that's how this is gonna go. So that's my number 2.
Justin, we're here.
Okay.
This is it.
But before we get to number 1, I do want to specify, like, everyone knows Mark's number 1 is going to be Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. He's not here to say it.
100%.
But we
already know what it is. I think he is out doing things today. He was probably
Mark,
going to gush how good Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is.
Yeah.
I can't speak on it because I haven't played it thoroughly, but I will say, man, yeah, I get it.
I did. Yep. Yeah, I did get to play it.
Just from what I've seen and what I've heard,
who loves Budokai Tenkaichi, I get it.
Yeah, from what I've seen and what I've heard, this game it's cool. Yeah.
So Justin, you got me curious. I was betting on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to be your number 1.
Yeah, what is that about?
So what is your number one?
So number 1, I was saying that it's pretty easy to read like 1 and 2, like on this one. This is a game that like I kind of don't have any other attachment to prior to actually playing it. So it's actually shocking that it just kind of like crept up on everything. I promise you, this is not a bandwagon. It's just that good, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1. Astrobot.
Let's go. Yep, of course.
No way.
I saw that coming from a mile away.
Astrobot.
Over the Buster Sword.
Over the Buster Sword, which is funny because it showed up in Astro's playroom instead.
It showed up in Astro's playroom.
I didn't even show up in Astrobot's crazy.
It's crazy because let me preface the fact that like I'm not a PlayStation boy. I never like delve into PlayStation. It was like Nintendo, then it was Xbox, and then back to Nintendo, and then all 3 consoles, starting with the PlayStation like 4. So I didn't really have much of a history like with most of the titles that were like referenced in this game. But as like someone who enjoys like 3D platformers, like this was like definitely on the radar, and I was so impressed with the visuals, the presentations for this game. It's and the reason that is because I do like platforms and I love RPGs. The reason that this one outbeats Final Fantasy is the fact that there was never a moment where I was just bored of this game. I was always having fun. It was crazy that I could ever like felt like that constant like vibe of just like a feel good game from start to finish. That doesn't really happen like that. So that's why he's number 1. That's all I got to really say about it. You guys got to play it, and they got to learn from this. They even reference in the Game Awards that they attributed to like the one game from Nintendo's library without really saying Nintendo. It was Mario Brothers. So
Oh yeah.
Shout outs.
Yeah.
Sobi. Team of Sobi.
Aniyah, we already know what your number one is, but you might as well tell the public.
What is your number one?
What is your number one game of 2024?
I don't know if we're going to be able to hear it.
No way, you can't hear it.
Yeah, Discord kind of fail-safes that.
Just pull the picture up. We already know. There it is.
Best fighting game of the year, baby. I don't care about patch notes. I'm just gonna uppercut you. It's a good game. Let me tell you something about this. This is just something I didn't know. First of all, who doesn't know it's Tekken 8? But also, apparently, this is just a common thing with Tekken players. Tekken fans are like some of the most like I hate my game, but I keep playing it anyway crowd. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I mean, I would like the fact that people are vocal about things that we need to do for balancing, because that's going to be a constant. This game's going to always be updated, blah, blah, blah. But just on like face value, this game, guys, I took a week off of work for this. I
feel it.
And then they were just like, "Oh man, you gonna be feeling all right? Oh, bro, I'm gonna be great. Okay, well,
I got Tekkenitis, bro. I can't come in.
Man, yeah, I got the iron fist. Like, that a euphemism or no? I'm gonna be on. Tekken is my favorite fighting game series ever. Considering like all the things I missed out on, we played all of them at Phil's house. Like what? A few months ago.
At least up to 7. Yeah.
I played 5 the most when I had my own PS2. So I was just like, dog, what? Who's Ryu?
3 and 5 are my main bread and butters.
After playing 3 and knowing that was the one that like skyrocketed sales for Tekken, crazy. And I was just hooked ever since. So I think and then there's always been like this point of like progressing with the game. Like not everybody like goes and backtracks unless they really got comfortable with whatever the approach was in like, let's see, Tekken 7 was more defensive. So there would be people who would have like this transition of going to Tekken 8 where it's more aggressive. And it's like, dang. There's just some people who just feel some kind of way. Like Tekken Tag 2, there's people who feel comfortable with how wacky that system was. But it's just like whatever you're comfortable with. I like just going with it as it just progresses. Whatever the system does in what particular title, I'm always up for it. So anything that's super aggressive, because is this a hot take? Probably. I don't care how you play the game, as long as you don't disconnect while we're playing a match. That's all I care. And run the set. There was not a month where I didn't play Tekken this entire year. And I was just like, here's the 2025, guys. Here's the 2025. You know the intro in Tekken 8 where there's like a chain and there's a big old 8 in there and it's in like the blood vein? That was me, guys. I was the guys they did for that footage. They got like a little colonoscopy camera and put it in my hand. I was just like, you know what? It's happening. I'm stuck on this game. So of course it's gonna be my number one.
Nice.
I play right now while we're talking. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Okay, Phil.
That's all right. I had Balatro going for a little bit right now. Anyways,
what is your number one?
My number one game of the year was something I was always hoping was going to happen. You know, ever since playing the, I guess, second game. It's not really the first game, but it's technically the second game. But I was like, man, I am so thrilled they actually went with this. It's just a game that invokes fun, and some video games love to forget what fun actually is.
The game is fun.
It has to, like, a video game has to be just fun, and there wasn't a single minute in this game where I was like, man, this is just fun. There's literally nothing wrong with the game. We talk about Mario Wonder being one of the most polished games, like, period. This is a polished game. I'm just really happy that this kind of game exists and is getting this kind of praise. It's been so long since we've had something like this be like this mainstream, and I love it. But like, my number one is also Astrobot.
Of course, yep, guys, yep.
Look at him.
Lock it in, bro.
It's such a good game.
And there's a lot to be said on my part, because I think out of all of us here with the PlayStation, like, I have a lot of nostalgia for it as well. I'm gonna say this, even if it wasn't nostalgia bait, because let's be honest, a lot of it is nostalgia bait in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this still would have been game of the year, even without it being like a big celebratory thing for PlayStation. The game is really that good.
It's that fun.
I am someone who has played Astrobot Rescue Mission on VR. I've also played Astro's Playroom. Those have both been some of my favorite recent PlayStation games. So getting a full-fledged real 3D platform in like Astrobot, like from the ground up, a real sequel to Playroom, I was like, that I'm all in. You got me. Like, I'm sold. It's just fun. There's literally every level's different. They don't like feel like the last level. You go into this new level, they give you a new power-up, or if they give you the same power-up, they're gonna make you use it differently. It just has so much variety. I am a big Nintendo fan. That's just how it is, right? I've always said that, whatever. But some of my favorite games are PlayStation platformers, man. Ape Escape, Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. I can keep going. And as much as I love modern PlayStation games, I do. All right. I like to talk shit about The Last of Us a lot, but I always say part 1 is like one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. Uncharted's amazing. Horizon's pretty cool. Ghost of Tsushima is amazing. But they're all 3D action games, and they all have that same look, right?
Yeah.
Astrobot finally reminds me that, hey, PlayStation can compete with Nintendo. PlayStation can do a game like this and
They
still
can have
be
fun.
really good and still be up there as one of the best games of all time. Astrobot clears, by the way. This is my favorite PS5 game of all time. I don't even think it's even a competition anymore. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was. This clears house. I'm gonna say it here. Yeah, Astrobot absolutely clears house.
You're
literally,
clearly.
I'm thinking absolutely clearly, because on top of it being one of the best game on PS5, it's also the best game to show off the PS5. It's literally uses every function of the DualSense, and the DualSense is what makes, in my opinion, is what makes the PS5 a next-gen console. All of the crazy features that controller has, it's used to its fullest potential here. The mic, the crazy like HD triggers, the HD like vibration, all that stuff is used to its fullest. Even when he's just taking footsteps, you can hear it through the controller. Like, that's so cool. Like,
yeah, that's okay. All right. Y'all have sold me on this game.
It's just immersion. It's immersion. And it's just like, it just so happens to be a really good, well-polished 3D platformer that just doesn't let up. It's good all the way till the end.
Solid work.
You can't get that from a lot of modern games nowadays. It just really is that good. And also, I guess, I'm a little sentimental now that I'm a dad. I get to play this game in the future with my son when he grows up, and he can actually experience something like family friendly like Astrobot. I get it. I understand why it won Family Game of the Year.
Yes, a super palatable game.
Yes, it's you can make it challenging if you go for 100%. Absolutely. The some of the last levels are crazy. And also the PlayStation like themed levels, they were cooking. And then they just recently updated it with like new levels and new content. Oh my god, have you guys seen who they added as bots? Oh my god, they got the license. They did it. They actually made sure to put them in, because I guess technically they really are PlayStation history at this point. It's really cool. And the rest of the characters are all PS1 mascots. I was like, shut up, dude. Croc? Who the hell remembers Croc?
Croc, bro.
And Gex. Gex was
gonna
funny.
say, yeah.
I was like, who the hell?
The only reason I know Gex is because of Donkey, and so I was like, Gex, because I saw that.
Gex, bro. Who the hell? Okay, Gex, bro. That's so funny. I love the game, dude. It's so good, and like I think about it all the time. Like after playing it, it wasn't even a competition. Like once I beat it, I was like, "Yep, I don't think anything else this year is touching this.
Nothing's gonna come close."
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's just not.
It's crazy.
I love it.
Made me happy, guys.
Sephie, your number one is interesting because I think I put it together. But I can also be thrown a curveball right now. So, what is your number one game?
My number one game is Fitness Boxing 3. I'm just kidding.
I knew it.
Clearly, it's Class of 09.
Clearly, Class of 09. The flip side. I'm just kidding.
I thought it was Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star. You know.
Oh Lord.
Oh my god.
No. Come on, y'all. If y'all know me, y'all know me pretty well at this point. This game has been mentioned twice now.
Yeah,
of course,
I
every
figured
time
as
it's been
much.
mentioned, I'm like, yeah, this is a good game. Yeah,
I knew
I
it.
was
Yeah,
just waiting for my turn. My number one game of the year is Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake,
Yep.
baby. I
Yep.
was so
Solid.
excited when they announced this. I saw the tweet by Nintendo, and I was screaming internally. I was jumping up and down in my office. My coworker was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Literally, my favorite game in the entire world is being put onto the Switch, and I never thought that would happen." I even said it like a few years ago. I was like, "If they put this game on the Switch, like the Switch will be perfect for me. Like that's it. Like anything else that comes out is just extra stuff." Day one, purchase it. I physical copy. My roommate went and picked it up for me. Love that guy. Great. No, what hasn't been said about this game? Okay, the music, fantastic. The designs, the quality of life, was the easy switching of partners. They kept most of the dialogue the same. They updated some of the stuff, and it just fits. Like the gameplay is good. The graphics are amazing. Yeah, it's capped at 30 frames per second, but whatever. Totally fine with it. I can totally understand why. I think Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is probably my favorite game, like ever. Like all the games I played. Closely tied with the Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. But it's just got so much nostalgia for me. I've played Paper Mario through 100%ed it like many, many times. It's probably like a once a year playthrough for me. That's how much I love it. So when I was playing this, I was like, bro, I already know where everything is at. Like, come on now, let's be real. No, I absolutely loved the way they redid everything. I loved the different battle music for each area. I thought that was so cool. I do like the fact that they did touch on Vivian in the original translation. They did not do that originally. I do like that they acknowledged it here because that's in the original game. It's not something that they just made up. Like that was in the original game, in the Japanese version.
That's one of my favorite parts too. They really actually talked about it. And Nintendo's usually known to shy away from that kind of stuff, but they let it they let it in.
No, they let it in. I was very, very happy about that. So I love all the characters. I love the little extra things they added, like the Battle Master. It's just one of those games I have so much fun playing it. I love the character designs. I love all the partners. All the partners are so great. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Like I said, I was super excited for it to come onto the Switch. I feel like the Switch is perfect. It has the game on here. I was so excited I could play it on the go. And I blasted through that game like for sure. I was like, this is I'm not going to stop playing it. So I was that is my number one game of the year, Paper Mario.
Initially was going to say that it was going to be Paper Mario, but you threw me a curveball earlier, and I wasn't sure if Balatro was going to make it on the list.
You know, I wanted to put Balatro on the list, but I didn't really play it enough. Like I've played some of it and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. It should have gotten an honorable mention too. I kind of forgot about it, but
cool.
Yeah, so there it is.
Our top 10 games. So officially the top number one games for Tanuki Media is Astrobot, Tekken 8, Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Baby.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, same.
Oh man,
and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Let's just
fair. Give it the flowers.
Sparking Zero. Put
Give
that
the
in
flowers
there.
to Mark.
No, it's like
no. I'm definitely looking forward to 2025. There's a lot of games already on the horizon.
Oh my god! And in lieu of the Switch 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Switch 2 hype for sure, but even not even counting the Switch 2, I mean, Switch 1 is already starting off with bangers, man.
This is
Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Pokemon Legends ZA.
Oh god, I'm so excited.
Oh, Metroid.
Metroid Prime 4, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition.
Dude, can try that out.
Like Jesus, like Atelier, Atelier.
Monster
Hunter Wild. The eventuality of Grand Theft Auto 6 is next year.
What's stacked out?
Falcom just announced a bunch of stuff. Like, I mean,
sure
that. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what next year's going to bring, what our top games are going to be, and what we've played. So I'm really excited.
All right. I think that'll conclude with everything for the whole Game of the Year Talks Top 10. I guess thank you all so much for tuning in for this one, and we will see you guys in the next iteration in 2025, somewhere in December, January, whichever.
See you next year.
See you guys next time.
Oh yeah, deuces. Phil says bye too.
Oh yeah, that too.